जो हलदिया येलो हैचेस अच्छी से गुड़ा सब हमर एक्जिस्टिंग माइंस और वर्किंग माइंस आम हिस्ट्रिकली जब देखा ब्रिटिश क्रॉनिकल भी देखा दिस एरिया वाज हाईली हैबिटेटेड बाय एलिफेंट बट जेहेतु एलिफेंट वर्तमान हैबिटेट एंड फूड अभाव हो जाइए regular phenomenon is happening. The conflict is very severe here. This financial year, at least 7 human beings have been died due to elephant conflict, and 2 elephant madhyam se death hoichi. So the जो हमारा negative interaction होची, these are the outcomes. मेनली जो हाथी आसुची जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट बढ़ुची से हाउस रेट प्रॉपर्टी डैमेज करछंती क्रॉप रेट करछंती ह्यूमन कैजुअलिटी होची एलिफेंट कैजुअलिटी होची सीवियर साइकोलॉजिकल स्ट्रेस का होची एटा ए टॉपिक ता बते के डिस्कशन करनांती आमी केते सीवियर साइकोलॉजिकल स्ट्रेस रे हम स्टाफ अछंती कि लोक माने बहुत अछंती हम स्टाफ भी अछंती जेते बेले भी हाथी जाउची हम स्टाफ मान को लोक मैंने ट्राई टू बिटेन डाउन तो मु रियली सैल्यूट करूची हमर ग्रीन वॉरियर मान को जो माने रियली हम फेस बदिचंती हम कॉन्फ्लिक्ट दे आर द मेन स्टेक होल्डर तांको द्वारा आज हाथी एटलीस्ट ठीक रह या सहित अदर्स जो अच्छी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आउटकम जेमती हमर गवर्नमेंट प्रॉपर्टीज समटाइम रेलवे डिपार्टमेंट आल्सो टेक दैट ड्यू टू दिस पर्सन ऑर्डर हमर we are getting huge economic loss. So there are other outcomes of this conflict also. Okay. Okay. Yes, this is one of the videos we have shot during that this young bull they are raiding the crop in Padai area, and this is the place in Koida region. I just want to show the severity of the conflict. This one village named Sardigad was there, but से चारि पाखरे कोठी भी चाष होनथला बट ए गां रे गोटे लोक माने चाष करथले बट सडनली गोटे एलिफेंट हर्ड माने 30 टा हाथी पलो आछि हाथी खाइ कि एटा पूरा सिवियरली से गां रे जते कम छिला सब खाइ देले. सो very conflicting situation. लोक माने भी एमती कहले जे हम सुसाइड कर दउ बट तुरंत आमे जाय के हम स्टाफ जाय के अनुकंपा उसरे बुझेलु एवं तुरंत हमको पदक्षेप नेलु ए. And these are the one other outcome house damage. And this is one of the matrix we have prepared. You can observe that the Koida region जो भी there is shortage of food and fodder. सेठी हाउस रेट कोइडा एंड वर्चुआ रीजन रे जो भी हमर माइंस अछि सेठी सबटु अधिका होछि एंड सेठी में ह्यूमन किल भी सेठी अधिका अछि बट आमे भी देखिबा नेक्स्ट तामरा जता एंड सोल रेंज जो कि गुड फॉरेस्ट अछि सेठी भी एता तो अपेक्षा बेसी एलिफेंट रहउ स्टिल द हाउस रेडिंग एंड अदर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट इज लेस. So we can say the due to this developmental activities mines and industry how it is badly impact our elephant and our marginal people. So next part of my presentation is do's and don'ts. आपण माने समस्त तो जानि छथि just I want to tell this like हमर जो rice deer and other things जो अछि जोटा palatable by elephant सेटा जदि हमें घरे रखिबा that is one of the cause of house raiding also. तो सेटा को हमको दूर रखिबा पड़िबो ता सहित हमर जो ट्रेडिशनल गोटे मेथड अछि बॉन फायर हमें घरे निया लगेले हाथी आसे सेटा भी हमें देखु वेरी इफेक्टिव इन फॉरेस्टेड एरिया. ता सहित यदि हमें तुरंत फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट को डाकिबा एनी एलिफेंट साइटेड हैला ताले हमर आरआरटी टीम किमा हम स्क्वाड जाय कि तुरंत से ताको हमें बस्ती रो बा गां रो हटेबा चेष्टा करबा सो दैट हाउस रेट को हमें प्रिवेंट कर पाए. एंड क्रॉप रेट ପାଇଁ ସେମିତି ଆମର जोटा वर्तमान ଆମର ସ୍କିମ୍ ଅଛି ଜନ ସୁରକ୍ଷା ଗଜ ରକ୍ଷା ସେଇଟାରେ ବି ଆମେ ଏଇ ସ୍କିମ୍ ରେ ବି ଆପ୍ଲାଏ କରି ପାରିବା जोटा कि कम्युनिटी लैंड ପାଇଁ जोटा 90% सरकार देबे और 10% कम्युनिटी देबे किंतु इंडिविजुअल केस रे दिस इज 50% will be borne by the department and the individual. So this can be done in village level. Next. এইটা অনুকম্পা উপরে আমার যে অর্থরাশি বর্তমান যে সরকার ডবল করেছেন, দিস ইজ এ হ্যান্ডসম অ্যামাউন্ট। আমার ইয়ারনেস কম আছে যেমন প্রিভিयस স্পিकर कहते बट এইটা তো আমি ভিএসএস লেভেলে भी बहुत प्रचार করছু এবং প্যাম্পলেট এই সব ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন হଉଛି। নেক্সট এই অনুকম্পা বিষয়ে মীরা স্যার কিছু ডিটেলস কইবে। नेक्स्ट डोज फॉर प्रिवेंटिंग एलिफेंट डेथ तो सर्टली कहबाक चाहिए जे हमर वर्तमान मैक्सिमम हेल होची डेथ ऑफ एलिफेंट होची इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन पाई सेठी पे हम इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन केमति प्रिवेंट करि परबा सेटा हमर मुख्य रहइबो। एंड अदर थिंग्स आर लाइक सेंसिटाइजेशन, CSR funding from the industry also we can channelize for this prevention of conflict। एंड आम कौन करवा जदि मनीष न मरिया जमी जिते बड़े आमर जो मैट्रिक्स बनई से भी लिखिलु जे जो सकाळे कि इवनिंग जो लोक मैंने फॉरेस्ट को जाऊँ एनटीएफटी कलेक्शन या टू अटेंड नेचर कॉल से टाइम मेनली डेथ होची ह्यूमन तो से गुड़ा सब जब आम अवॉइड कर पारिबा सहित लोक मान जो हाथी आसिले जदि लोकंर जो क्राउड कंट्रोल कर पारिबा से गुड़ा जदि कर पारिबा ताले आमे लोकंर जो डेथ होची सेटा को निहाती भाव रिड्यूस कर पारिबा। These are some photographs and finally I thank all of you for your kind listening.
बहुत बढ़िया presentation Lalit Babu Sundar here for your morning. Good question. Any questions? No. Okay. Thank you very much, Lalit. So second presenter of the evening is Ajit Sarpati, DFO, City Division. And he will be talking about the tranquilization of lone tusker, I think. Okay. Over to Ajit.
Tranquilization. My all wishes to elephant savers. मोर जो टॉपिक रही माने ट्रैंक्विलाइजेशन सहित आ गोटे बड़ पार्ट रही मोर जोटा डील करी जोटा है ट्रांसलोकेशन ऑफ गोटे सिंगल हाथी मेल हो कि माखना हो जो चली आसूँ जोटा आम आज सकाल सेसन में शुणिले तार मोर तीन उदाहरण हो जाइए। गोटे फास्ट होता मोर सेप्टेम्बर 2022 रे तीनोटी एलिफेंट महानदी क्रॉस करते गोटे डेथ है आ गोटे चली आसला जगतपुर आड़ को एंड जगतपुर इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया भितर स्टैंडर्ड है कटक। द्वितीयटी होता आम ट्रैकिंग करूँ बिफोर डे पिपिली गोटे कल्टिवेटेड एरिया भितर रही जो आम ट्रैकिंग कलु देखिलु तार मूवमेंट उत्तरा छक आड़ को होची। स्टाफ अच्छा पुरी डिवीजन खोर्धा डिवीजन आम डिवीजन सिटी डिवीजन समस्ते आम जगु जगु दया नदी पार हो जो भाविलु बोधे एलिफेंट पलैला बोले कहीं देखा जाए रातिर सब बड़ डिफिकल्ट हुए रातिर विजिबिलिटी न था एलिफेंट जो क्रॉस फील्ड भितर जाए कि ठीक गोटे बेले मत फोन आसला जे एलिफेंट गैरेज छक ही जाऊँ जस्ट आपण मैंने जापारे आमर प्लाइट गैरेज छक लिंगराज मंदिर पुनामा गेट जदि जस्ट राइट टर्न करी जाइता नवीन निवास न जाई भाग्यवल लेफ्ट रे जाई से आमर डीएवी स्कूल पोखरी फुट है सकाल भोर 5टा 6टा भितर रेगालिया मॉल फ्रंट रे जो आमर पात्रपड़ा अच्छी स्मृतिवन साइड रे गोटे प्लांटेशन अच्छी से रही 6टा बिफोर सी क्रॉस कर स्मृतिवन भितर को जाइए रोड क्रॉस करी पूर्व जस्ट पिला माने छोट छोट पिला माने मते नर्सरी स्कूल की कोट की 6टा बेलू जाउथिले दीटा गाड़ी जाउछि से गाड़ी पास हिची से रोड पास कर ए सिचुएशन देन नेक्स्ट ए 10-15 दिन मासे भीतर कथा जाजपुर आमे जानछु हदगढ़ आडू गोटे हाथी आसुची भद्रक नेक्स्ट डे भद्रक जिला भीतर को पसुची भद्रक डिवीजन भीतर से मन ताको ट्रैक करछुनी मो सेते बेले कटक डिवीजन रा चार्ज भी था वी आर ऑल अलर्ट देखुछु तार मूवमेंट कि हठात राति रे आमे भाबुतलु फेरी जीवो बोली बट बैतरणी पास करके जाजपुर भी तो यही जो इश्यूज होची एंड ए तीनटा जाक इश्यूज भितर मोर जहाँ एक्सपीरियंस रही सेटा मुझे आपन आगे कहबी सबुठ बड़ इश्यू है जिते एलिफेंट आसूची केते दिन है तार हैबिटेट बाहर दैट इज वेरी इंपोर्टेंट से भितर आमे ताकू जिते बड़े ह्यूमन हैबिटेशन आपन जोटा कहबे सपोज हदगढ़ है केउजर है किंबा अन्य फॉरेस्टेड एरिया जो रही तार हैबिटेट से 5 किलोमीटर हो 10 किलोमीटर हो से बैक करी जाई पारे किंतु जिते बड़े हाटडी को डेई आगरपड़ा है जो भद्रक एरिया को आसूची सेठी जीवार बाट नाही कहीं चारिआडे गाँ यू नो दी लैंडस्केप ऑफ भद्रक जाजपुर कोस्टल एरिया रे हमर प्रति जगह रे गाँ ता सहित जमीबाड़ी एंड से गाँव मुंडरे थी गोटे बड़ अर्चाड एंड एलिफेंट जदि जीव सकाळ हेले जीव जदि किछि गोटे सेंटर पाइबा पय चाहिबो जोटी से अर्चाड भितर रहइबो अर्चाड भितर रहिला माने गाँव रे प्रॉक्सिमिटी भितर रहला दैट इज मोर डेंजरस एरिया एंड सबुठ बड़ डेंजरस लोक जिते जानवे सका 8टा को मिनिमम 5000 10,000 लोक तार पाखे तो जिते ये मूवमेंट है बर्तमान जो जाजपुर कथा मुझे कहूँ मो रेंज अफिसर को कहली जो शुणिली ये पास करगला मो रेंज अफिसर को सागे सागे कहली हाइड्रा जोगाड़ कर जेसीबी जोगाड़ कर एंड गोटे जोटा बेसिस ये लोड करके नेबा तापई जो जोगाड़ कर से जोगाड़ करी सेटा जोगाड़ करदेले भी हेनी ताकू जो तार गोड़ दुटा बांधा हुए जो नेबा पड़े जो से जो गोड़ बांधा से आगे तार वेल्डिंग काम हुए अध घंटा 45 मिनट लगे से ना हाथी गोड़ फिक्स रहा दरकार जो ट्रांसपोर्ट करूँ से जिनस गुड़ाक निहाती करवा दरकार कहीं मोस्टली बहुत जगह ट्रांकुलाइजेशन पर आम एगुड़ा करूँ जो ट्रांकुलाइजेशन पर आम करूँ एलिफेंट अध घंटा भर तो से अगेन बेक कर आमर ये अरेंजमेंट जब 2 घंटा पड़ेगा एलिफेंट को बारंबार ट्रांकुलाइजेशन रखा पड़ो कि टाई गोड़ बांधिकी जो रखा जाए ट्रांकुलाइजेशन पर गोड़ बांधा है सेटा जो बंधागला से जो स्ट्रगल करे गोड़ रे अगेन वुंड्स आसी तेणु आगो एटा जेमती रहइबो कने ट्रांकुलाइजेशन टीम जते बेले पहुंची जांती साइट रे ट्रांकुलाइजेशन इज अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट टास्क जोटा कि डॉक्टर गुप्ता विल से मो सहित मोर को ये से एलिफेंट ठीक लोकेशन रे भी रहबा दरकार रोड पाखा पाखी जोटी कि ए सारंजाम जाई पारे नले आपन जदि वर्षा पेडी फील्ड अछि कादो होई छै यू कैन नॉट मूव केंद्रापड़ा रे संदि बाली भितरे एलिफेंट अछि भितरे बाली से भितर को आपन पसी परिबे तो जेते बेले सुजोग थाए एलिफेंट को ट्रांकुलाइज करबा से तबे ट्रांकुलाइज कर दिया थोड़े ट्रांकुलाइज हो गले तार मूवमेंट रेस्ट्रिक्ट होला पर हम ट्रांसपोर्ट करबा एक बहुत इजी हो गला हम पाखे वेल बस टीम रही सेठी भितर जो क्राउड हुए जो मो स्टाफ माने प्रत्येक रेंज रु मिनिमम 10-15टा रेंज रु पाखापाखि आम स्टाफ मोबिलाइजेशन करूँ एंड स्टाफ किसी करती परिवार किसी ना 10,000 लोक करेंगे कौन पुलिस था डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन था गोटे होल टीम वर्क से फॉर्मेशन हुए ऑन द स्पॉट से किसी करें स्टाफ कि एटलिस्ट ह्यूमन चेन हिसाब से एलिफेंट को ट्रांकुलाइजेशन टीम जो डील कर मिनिमम रखा पड़ो गोटे सेफ डिस्टेंस एंड मुझे एथर फिल कली आ गए बड़ जिन आम एथर बढ़िया रिजल्ट देला जे जो स्मॉल माइक अच्छी कहीं ट्रांकुलाइजेशन पर जो मुझे घोड़े दि जाए जो देखा घोड़े दि जाए से साउंड होगा उचित किंतु आप जानते क्राउड जब 5-7 हजार थी जो साउंड हो एंड ताको आप चित्कार करें चुप तो सेठी जो स्लो माइकिंग हुए से बहुत इफेक्टिव तेणु ये सब को नहीं मोर जो प्रेजेंटेशन यस हमें जानी चाहिए ह्यूमन फिटनेस जो हैबिटेट फ्रैगमेंटेशन रैपिड अर्बनाइजेशन या प्रमोट कुछ कहवा नहीं क्रॉप रेडिंग क्राउड मैनेजमेंट एंड 144 देन जारी करिवा सैप पैसेज टू द एलिफेंट ड्राइविंग अवे फ्रॉम ह्यूमन हैबिटेशन एगुड़ाक आम ट्रेनिंग रे पढ़ुचे सब जानूचे बट एट द स्पॉट सब निजर प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड उपरे काम जिते बेले एलिफेंट मूव करूची वाडे मूव करूची मु जानिबा दरकार नन मु स्टाफ को कहबी केमती कोठी जिबे स्टाफ ऑन द फील्ड एलिफेंट आगे जाउची गोटी टीम ताको ट्रैक करूची अन्य समस्त से जो नव माने ग्रह बुलिला बेले चारिटा देखुची तेणु मु जो टीम टा ताको ट्रैक करे ताको कहू तुम लाइव लोकेशन पठा गूगल लाइव लोकेशन मु जोटी थाए लाइव लोकेशन ऊपर मु संगे संगे सेट करे लैट नाम पकाए गूगल अर्थ रे देखे कोठी कोठी से जाउची एंड जोठी अछि एलिफेंट ताको मु स्टडी करे को पाखरे गछ अछि को पाखरे वाटर बॉडी अछि कुआडे पॉसिबिलिटी अछि जिबा सेही अनुसार स्टाफ को मोबिलाइज करे जे तुम ए पाख गाँ को जा सेकंड लिस्ट के चिन्ह अछि कि ताको सेठी माइकिंग करे जे हाथी आसी जाय पाए काना पीडी अपन एलिफेंट जाउथबो सेफ्टी करि परिबे ना ताको कोन डेइगिरि जिबे सेठी गाँ लोक कहबे आसना माने एलिफेंट आसुची बोली अलगाम करि परिबे नो तेणु संबड़ी आप जाना पड़ो ये पांचटा गाँ भर जापे एलिफेंट ये पांचटा जाक गाँव लोक को आमको कंटाक्ट बनवा पड़ो जो मैंने थे से जो सेकेंड टीम आमर से कह से गाँव किए अच्छे फोन कर दियो एलिफेंट जापे जाऊ न जाऊ से सतर्क कराए ता सहित इलेक्ट्रिक करेन्ट भी कटाए बहुत इंपोर्टेंट तेणु ये दुईटा जिनस गूगल अर्थ ही मत हेल्प करे मो स्टाफ को जिते देखाए से एबे भी मु सार को नेक्स्ट डे आई वाज टॉकिंग टू बीसीसी जीआई जे आमे गोटा ऐप डेवलप करबा दरकार बर्तन हाईली रिक्वायर्ड माने ऑन रियल लाइफ जेमिति कि आमे से ऐप रे जानि परिबो हम पोजीशन कोठी अछन स्टाफ मोबाइल रे मोबाइल कनेक्ट हे परिबो मु जानि ने मोर 10 टा टीम एठी अछन एलिफेंट सिटी देन आई कैन मोबिलाइज थ्रू द रियल टाइम प्रोग्रेस ऑफ द एंटायर थिंग सेटा गोटे बड़ जिंस ता सहित लोक एते जोरे आसंती लोकों को पाई गोटे सेटा यात्रा सदृश हो जाए 100% तो नहीं पुलिस भाई मान सहित प्रशासनिक अधिकारी सहित आम टीम से क्राउड भितर भी स्टाफ मान सब बड़े कहे माइंड सेट कर दियो 10,000 लोक भितर आम काम करबा पड़े देन आसिला ट्रैंकुलाइजेशन जोटा आई विल मु वर्तमान मोर को डॉक्टर गुप्ता ट्रैंकुलाइजेशन ऊपर किछ करे
Namaskar, good evening to the esteemed guests present out here. My senior sir, Dev sir told about the problems which is mainly faced during the transit of animals, especially the problematic elephant. Like what it's mentioned, the tranquilization is the only last option which we have to follow. As in case when some elephants enter to the registration place, it's very difficult to drive it because there is no such passage, and very likely chances are there that the elephant either maybe get run into conflict or maybe some damage to the properties can happen. So for this, lastly, the tranquilization teams are being kept on the hold, and if required, we are had to intervene. So just want to speak something brief regarding the minor particle parts regarding the tranquilization. So tranquilization, apart from it, involves a series of procedures. So one, the team have to take care regarding it. Rather, for the tranquilization of the animal, the elephant, we have to see the stage where the animal is, the condition, because the animal also had to run in some kind of traumatic condition because it's away from the herd and then into some different, completely different environment. So that mental distress also it had to follow. At the same time, other things, particularly the administrative department have to consider regarding that mobilizing all the manpower, machineries and equipments which are involved for the shifting of an elephant to a suitable place, either maybe for the rescue center or maybe a natural habitat where the animal can be released out of human habitat. So for doing that case, doing transportation also, the team have to take care about the care during the transportation, like watering have to be done when the animals is in chain condition. You will be getting much more big idea when picture with this one. So and crowd management and media also had to be managed throughout this procedure. And after the animal is released, we need, because the elephant will be released into some new area. So post-release monitoring also is quite essential, so that we can know that how the animal is doing, and because it will be extreme, that it need to be adapted to the place. So these are the pictures like which we can go, like we can manage the crowd and provide safe access to the elephant, so that the elephant can reach into. And only these are the tranquilization equipments which we use right now. On top you can see it's a Dan inject model, double ladder model packing, and then and one below you can see it's power charge and Mod 60 gun. So both are simultaneously used depending upon the size and the area or location the elephant is. And these are the drugs normally which we use for the tranquilization and along with the reversal. So, you can see in the picture one elephant which has entered the human habitat. It was tranquilized and then it was chained before shifting, and especially our trained persons, veterinary and other staff which are quite experienced are used to attend for the first time, because we have to ensure that the animal is completely sedated, and so that we can start our procedure, because it's the animal will be, we won't be knowing the condition of the animal, and then some ground staff may get injured in this process, so it's a highly risk involving job. So certain precautions we ensure, like you can see we have covered the eyes with some clothes, so that it will be blindfolded and then it won't be getting much aroused easily. Secondly, then the animals is chained, and then a belt, especially a belt is provided for lifting of the animal to the crane. You can see in this picture, the elephant has been lifted into the truck prior to shifting, and this is a very crucial part, because since the elephant is quite a big body animal, so having so much of body weight, so lifting on with the crane and involving some belt and all, it shouldn't be taking time, because it will put lot of pressure on the sternum, and the animal might get some respiratory distress. So this procedure have to be finished in time, so that the animal is released back into the over the truck, and then it is ready for the transportation. This procedure has to be completed as soon as possible. Here you can see the elephant, like we reached to a certain place. It was from Chandika. The elephant was received at late night, and then makeshift ramp was made for shifting the animal, and again the animals was anesthetized, and again it was brought into kraal for certain period of time till that it can be released to the natural habitat.
2 minutes, please. 2-3 minutes.
This you can see the elephant which have been brought, like it was chained here because we couldn't release it to the natural habitat due to some certain issue of health was there. So the animals was kept there for 2-3 days for some treatment, and prior to the release the animal was screened for diseases, and then it was released safely. A thorough screening was done before the animal was released, and then some necessary treatment and identification was made. This same elephant was released after certain time spending in the rescue center. Out there it was released, and our team involving, they did the monitoring through code, and maybe nowadays high technology like such as drone are there, so that we can see that animals have been well settled to a new place and it's not venturing out of its resistance to some human habitat. So these are the things quite challenging. So very. I would like to thank you.
Then the carcass begins. This is the Jajpur issue. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dr. Santosh Kumar, ये जो पिक्चर का वीडियो ने देखा गया, जितना का वीडियो they speak it all. कितने difficult, कितने sensitive operation. Congratulations to Odisha Forest Department. It's a difficult operation to finish smoothly for the last several months. They have already translocated not less than 3 elephants. Congratulations, wonderful. Thank you very much. Now next speaker is Pradeep Nerasi, the DO of Sundargarh, young dynamic IFS officer who is doing wonderfully well in his division. So his subject is about वाइल्डलाइफ अनुकंपा उपरे हम बहुत डिस्कशन करालानी ये तो सुंदर आर्ट के तैयारी कराई छी ओडिशा फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट तो ଏ ସୁନ୍ଦର ମାନେ ଏଭ୍ରିୱେୟାର ୱେଲ୍ସ ଯେକୌଣସି ଜାଗାରେ ଆପଣ ପଚାରିବେ ଏଭଳିଆ ଅନୁକମ୍ପା ଭଳିଆ ଆପ୍ ଅନ୍ୟ କେଉଁଠି ନାହିଁ। ଓଡ଼ିଶା ଇଜ୍ ଦ ପାଓନିୟର। ଆମର ସବୁ ଶ୍ରେୟ ଯାଉଛି ବହୁତ କିଛି କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁଟ୍ କରିଛନ୍ତି ଆପ୍ ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟରେ। ସେ କହିଲେ ଲାଷ୍ଟ ଟୁ ସେ ୱିଲ୍ ସ୍ପିକ୍ ତେଣୁ ଅନୁକମ୍ପା ବିଷୟରେ ଆମର ପ୍ରଦୀପ ବାବୁ ବତାଇବେ। ବହୁତ ସୁନ୍ଦର ଆପ୍ଟି ଲୋକଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ଲୋକଙ୍କ ଦ୍ୱାରା ତିଆରି କରାଯାଇଛି। ଓଭର ଟୁ ପ୍ରଦୀପ।
थैंक यू सर। जय जगन्नाथ समस्त को बहुत नमस्कार। आई जस्ट स्पीक इन ब्रीफ कहीं आम बहुत शुणुचु वाइल्ड लाइफ अनुकंपा उपरे और केमिति वाइल्ड लाइफ अनुकंपा एबे हमको हेल्प करूची कंपैशनेट अमाउंट पेमेंट करबा पई टू द एग्रीड पीपल। तो मेनली हमर देखु ह्यूमन वाइल्ड लाइफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट तो बड़ी बड़ी चालुची सेटा जो हम देखु। So these are the wildlife degradation issues that we can see because of attack by elephant or any wild animal. ता भितर human injury and human death अछि। ट्रांसफॉर्मेशनल चेंज है सेटा हमें देखि पर। तो हमें देखंतु बहुत गुडे जिनसे डिस्कस हेलानी कि व्हाट कैन बी डन टू मिटिगेट द ह्यूमन वाइल्ड लाइफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट। तो वन ऑफ द लास्ट पॉइंट इज टू मेक क्विक पेमेंट ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर पेमेंट और compassionate पेमेंट। So वाइल्ड लाइफ अनुकंपा इज वन स्टेप बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ ओडिशा व्हिच इज द राइट स्टेप टुवर्ड्स वाइल्ड लाइफ अनुकंपा कोन अछि अपन समस्त जानछथि। मु जस्ट जो हमारे गेस्ट अच्छी कहती वाइल्ड लाइफ अनुकंपा गोटे आम ऐप अच्छी डेभलप बाय पीसीसीएफ वाइल्ड लाइफ एंड हमारे टेक्निकल पार्टनर अच्छी वर्षा जरिया बनाई जाइए एंड दैट ऐप माध्यम भी अच्छी और हमारे वेब पोर्टल माध्यम भी अच्छी एंड हमारे पीसीसीएफ आईटी सर हमको जो कंट्रीब्यूशन अच्छी बिकॉज ऑफ दैट ऐप हैज कम टू दिस स्टेज। So हमें all the compassionate payment that were earlier done through check, we are doing it directly into their account. So this is the change that wildlife अनुकंपा has brought. So mobile app रे कौन करा जीवो mobile app रे that app is there which can be downloaded from Google Play Store and anybody can download that app and use that app for the either registration of their complaint or by our staff to survey the proposal that has received from the app. And web portal is very much important for the range officer level as well as DFO to check all the proposal that has come and approve it for the payment to the beneficiary. So and one more thing that recently government of Odisha has increased the compassionate amount rate. I would like to mention here that Sundargarh division we have done, we have compiled almost government orders and government GRs of 8 different states. We have compiled it, analyzed it, and we had submitted one proposal to Honorable Minister of Forest Environment and Climate Change, Government of Odisha, and based on that discussions were taken at PCCF wildlife level as well as government level. And government is kind enough to increase the compassionate amount. Now the compassionate amount is actually equal in crop rating. Earlier they used to get, now it has almost doubled and people are getting exactly whatever they might have been getting after the harvest of the paddy or any cash crop. So it is equal to the compensation amount. This is the different amount that we have given invoice. So now important thing is how to use. All of you might be knowing this, but for others those who don't know, I'll just tell you what should do, how to use this app. First is in mobile view, it's very simple. We have to download the app from the portal, Play Store app, and then apply for compensation. So whoever wants to apply, elephant has come to my field and it has destroyed the crops. So he has to apply through this mobile app. And application रे गला पर they have to fill the details like name, account number, तांकर आधार कार्ड नंबर ये सब से माने ताबिज़ fill करबे and fill करला पर different things which block is there, which district is there. These information along with the photo of their Aadhaar card as well as bank passbook. So this is for initial year. Once this has been done, see there are different. You can see photographs. If it is crop damage, they have to upload the photograph of crop damage. If it is human injury case, they have to upload the photo of that. So accordingly, they can upload the photos and. घरे से फोटो अपलोड करला ପରେ ତାଙ୍କୁ सबमिट करबा पड़िबो and once it is submitted automatically message will go to their own mobile number as well as it will show as pending for survey at the survey level. So what we have done, we have mapped all over Odisha. It has been mapped bit wise, section wise, range wise, and everyone, forest guard, forester, ranger, they have given their own jurisdiction. So accordingly message will go to everyone. This is pending and suppose what a bit say pending, so that surveyor can go to his own mobile, log in into that and see if these are the proposals pending at his level. So see here assigning of survey. So assigning of survey gala pare these are the proposals pending at his or her level. They can click on that and go to that village or location for recording of data, for survey of the field. So this is the for data collection. They will be taking the GPS reading and the area will be auto calculated. This is one more important thing कि they don't have to calculate the area. Suppose से माने बुलीले सब जगह रे point नहीं है कि the area will be auto calculated and according to that area the amount for the crop damage can be is calculated automatically. So we don't have to worry much and there is no difference कि I will put 10,000, another will put 10,000, 12,000. So it will be auto calculated as per the fixed amount. Once surveyor does everything, he puts everything and he syncs it. तो ताकू कौन करबा पड़िबो ताकू के जोडी नेटवर्क कवरेज अच्छी जोडी इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी सेठी आसी कि ये डेटा का सिंक करबा पड़िबो. Once it is synced, it goes to the range level. So then this is the web view where one can also apply if somebody doesn't know how to use mobile. So आमे कोन करूछु हमर स्टाफ ताको हेल्प करूछंती कि आपण एमिति ताको अप्लाई करि पारिबे or else हमर वेब व्यू रे जाय कि जो भी हमर कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर अछि ब्लॉक लेवल रे या जीपी लेवल रे सेठी से माने जाय कि ये वेब पोर्टल थ्रू भी तांकर एप्लीकेशन ता अप्लाई करि पारिबे. Then it comes to range officer level. Range officer will check कि सब डॉक्यूमेंट्स गुडा ठीक अछि कि नै तांकर जो क्लेम अछि सेटा ठीक अछि कि नै सर्वे ठीक है कि नै ये सब चेक करला परे the range officer will approve it and it will be automatically sent to DFO. So there are three options with the range officer. Either he can approve and send it to DFO level. He can revert it back if there is some difference in the area or something, or he can reject it. So once it has come to DFO login level, same DFO will also check it, and once he is sure that everything is complete, everything is in proper order, so it will be approved at DFO level. So approve करला परे DFO has to download the sanction form that has to be signed, and that sanction form has to be uploaded before the approval. This is the sanction form which is to be signed and then uploaded, and after uploading it can be approved. After approval, गोटे sanction order generate करबा पड़िबो and sanction order generate करला परे we can directly go check and pay. So check and pay करला परे this will be directly going to the treasury for payment. So we have the IFMS system. Earlier it was not integrated. Wildlife Welcome was not integrated with the IFMS system, integrated financial management system. But now after the integration, the job has become very easy because we don't have to make the bills and submit it to treasury separately. Directly we have to go to the IFMS at DFO level, DFO login level, approve it. After approval, it will directly go to the treasury, and treasury will send it to the concerned bank for the payment to the beneficiary account. So this is very simplistic process. It has been there. So what we are doing to increase the impact of this process? What we are doing so that जो वाइल्ड अनुकंपा जो ऐप करा जाई छी आगु लोक माने जो माने प्रॉब्लम फेस करते एबे से न करबा को हम कोन करछु तो प्रथम तो हैला these are the things we are doing at our level कि आमे आगु चेक करू छी कि which are the areas historical data अनुसार कोटी कोटी एलिफेंट मूवमेंट अछि से एरिया आमे फोकस करू छु एंड आमे सेठी कि देखु छु कि प्रत्येक वीक रे we are checking how many proposals are pending, surveys are pending, and it will be done within a week. That we will ensure. Second thing that we are doing, कि people don't know कि whether the money that has come to our account it is for this purpose or not. So mainly what we try to do in case of human death case, we are paying the 10% of compassionate amount to the next of kin within 48 hours of the incident. So and what we are doing, we are going to the family of the deceased and then we are giving them the as it is directly going into their account. We are not giving any check or anything. We are just telling you this is the amount that has come to your account. And what we will do, we will just help them to get the documents so that the remaining amount is also credited into the account within 15 days. So this is the impact of wildlife Anukampa. Earlier, they have to come to the range office or division office. They have to submit physically, and also the money that is being given, that was given in the form of check. So this was a very cumbersome process and lengthy process. So it has reduced down to the level where we can ensure the time frame. And DBT mode it has become very easy. So this is the payment status that we have seen. So lastly, I just want to say that Wildlife Anukampa has changed the way we were paying the compassionate amount to the affected families. Three things that I wanted to share here is that along with the Wildlife Anukampa, what we can do, these are the suggestions, is that we have to link this with the suitable insurance scheme. So I have studied about the livelihood insurance from Elephant Scheme of Kenya. So in that scheme, they are allowing them, the insurance agencies, to link this with the insurance, like crop insurance that they are getting. So if people will also be covered under this, so that will be very good initiative from our side. One more thing is payment for enhancing coexistence. This is also a good thing that was discussed with the earlier PCC of wildlife also. So in this case, what we are doing, we are giving incentive to people where they are ensuring the coexistence of the wildlife. So these are the few things that we can ensure along with the Wildlife Anukampa. Then the issue of human-wildlife conflict will be somehow mitigated to a certain extent. That is for sure. Thank you.
So, wonderful presentation, Pradeep ji. Very good Anukampa. That's exactly what we at Save Elephant Foundation Trust have been doing. We've been doing this. We've been going to the villages. We've been going to the forest staff in the interior areas. We are trying to just make them understand the nitty-gritties of this particular app. So great leadership by Dr. Devabrata Swami. So we've been doing it for the last 6-7 months with great success. Thank you very much, Pradeep ji. Now the final speaker, my co-chair, as well as you will also speak something about IT innovations. Okay, please, Malik ji.
Respected Dr. Devabrata Swami, Dr. Sharma, ex-DG, Shri Patnaik, ex-PCCF, Shri Dr. Anup Kumar Naik, ex-PCCF Wildlife, and all the dignitaries. I have nothing much to say regarding all these operations because my knowledge in wildlife management, frankly speaking, is very shallow. But one thing I know, that we're facing a crisis, that where present technology also unable to manage this type of crisis. We're doing something, and like we have developed this Anukampa to
shorten the time period of compensation. Previously it used to take 3 to 4 months. Now it is only 15 days, max to max 15 days its compensation amount is being paid. And the geospatially validated. माने जेतेबेले सर्वे होची से सर्वे रु ना केवल आमे एरिया जानि परछु आमे जानि परछु सेटा से जागाटा कहा ना रे अछि काइटा बुलेट सदर कनेक्शन अछि. So it's a very involved app and lot many improvement also is envisaged. And lot we have actually in the forest department around 20 to 25 apps, and out of that 8 to 9 apps are the roading apps. So this is developed actually Sarva Samal Sita Aramboyatala, both Jore Aramboyatala, and all these applications they use a common framework. That's a Amar jo Bullet Naksha achi plus Amar state jo boundaries achi, validated boundaries of the administrative boundaries of the state. Even we have an app called KYFL, Know Your Forest Land. Seti, if anywhere you are standing, you just click the app, you will know your khata number, plot number, police station, and the 44 details you are getting. You are getting the CRT status. It's a beautiful app. 2 lakhs of people they are using, and beauty is this was meant for the forest officers, but now it is greatly used by the realtors. Real estate people, they use this app very assiduously. They use. So this speaks the point in which Save Elephant Foundation invited me to talk, that is data sharing. What is happening that government data and the data of the activists or the so-called, we should not call, but anyway we call that NGO, this non-government organization like say Save Elephant Foundation or Wildlife Society or any conservation organization who are involved in that. We don't have a common data interface. We don't have a common data interface. The government data they are unable to see, and we are unable to see their data. Now the time has come that we should have a common platform to view the data, utilize the data, and work on it. So what is happening is the 5 blind men try to figure out the elephant. So one says it's like a snake, other says it's like a pillar, something like that. So we should plan, we should have a consultative discussion that what kind of data in fact we should have. So that same kind of data, they are along with the metadata. Metadata means property of the data, say data kebe collection naitala, who udhipai collection naitala, account se data kochi, that we should know. Jemdi Vartan koile, Anup sir koile, we go to various villages and make a survey. Those surveys are not available with us. It's not available with the forest department, frankly speaking. Isn't it? I think, do you have the data? No. So why can't we have an application? Because now everybody can make app. Nowadays what is happening? Making an app is very, very easier, but using an app fruitfully is really difficult. So we should have a common application format under the framework of the government or whatever it is, so that all can visualize. Suppose there is a one information, the elephant, Save Elephant people, they have gone to a village and they have discovered the herd of elephant. Periodically they are attacking one area. So that periodicity is maybe 15 days or 2 weeks. But same data can be used by the forest department. Forest department data also can be used by them. So something like that. So with this we should try hard. This is the data interoperability and common platform of data uses. And I don't think this will be very difficult, provided we have to sit down together and sort out the things. And third is, there is a lot of clamoring about the use of drones for the elephant management. We should have a solid policy of use of drones using elephant management for the state level. I mean, a policy should be there. So I request Save Elephant Foundation to sit with the forest department or wildlife department to have a policy. So in which area we should have which drones and which are the empaneled agency because everything it cannot be done by the government. Let unemployed youth also they get some employment out of it in the conservation. So government jodi sabu karibo kichi he pariboni. So private also people they should do. And likewise our security agencies. We have lot many security agencies that are doing a very good job, because we can't have policing for each organization or for each citizen. Similarly, we have para squads also. So we can have a policy of the use of drone in wildlife management and empaneled vendor. So that should be rate also, just like our EPM rate. In this manner, we can amalgamate the data, we can collect the data, and all people they can utilize. So this is my humble submission and request to the wildlife organization and also Save Elephant Foundation. I'm very, very thankful to the Save Elephant organization who have invited me, and I wish all our forest fraternity, all our friends, foresters, forest guards who are children, they might have enjoyed it. And I request Dr. Swain and Mr. Jitashatru Mahanti, the convener, that we can have such sessions throughout Odisha very frequently, so that all will be benefited. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Manikji. तेणु आम ये जो सेकेंड सेशन शेष पर्यायर आसी पहुँचले समस्त को धन्यवाद देवी आमर ऑडियंस मान तो डेफिनेटली खाइबा पर एत समय धरी धैर्य सहित शुणिले प्रथम धन्यवाद देवी आमर ललित बाबू ललित पात्र डीएफओ बणई सुंदर अनपैक्ड प्रेजेंटेशन कर बतैले आ बहुत भल जिन बतैले तापर आमर अजित शतपथी वेरी डायनामिक ऑफिसर ट्रांसलोकेशन केमती करिवो से विषय में बतैले आ बहुत सुंदर बतैले आमर जो डॉक्टर आसछथि नंदन क्रेनन से तो गुरु मानिकु से केमिति तांकर ट्रांक्विलाइजेशन करूछथि लोन टस्ट द प्रॉब्लमेटिक एलिफेंट्स इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट वेरी सेंसिटिव टिके एपट सेपट हेले कैजुअलिटी इज अ मस्ट इट डजंट टेक प्लेस मेनी प्लेसेस इंडिया बाहर मध्य एते meticulously tranquilization करा जाय पारना but they are doing it. That's why I must congratulate all the team members. तापर हमरो प्रदीप जी हमरो सुंदर भाव रे बतेले अनुकंपा पिछरे बहुत किछि हम साहाय्य करे फर्स्ट थिंग होची पेमेंट दवा दरकार आ पेमेंट बहुत शीघ्र पहुंचवा दरकार दैट्स एक्जेक्टली व्हाट दिस ऐप हैज बीन डूइंग बहुत सुंदर बतेले आ बढ़िया जिंस लागला पेमेंट फॉर इकोसिस्टम सर्विसेज पेमेंट फॉर कोएक्सिस्टेंस ये जो कॉन्सेप्ट आरंभ करछंती हमर प्रदीप जी पेमेंट फॉर कोएक्सिस्टेंस को-ऑकरेंस तेणु आम जब प्रॉब्लमेटिक एलिफेंट और प्रॉब्लमेटिक वाइल्ड एनिमल संगे रहिबा आगे आसवा यूज भी सुंदर एंड लास्टली फाइनली मल्लिका तो गुरु से एक्चुअली IFMS टू जिते प्रकार आईआईटी ग्रेजुएट तेणु बहुत किसी कंट्रीब्यूट कर फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट जो ऐप डेवलपमेंट आम हूँ पायनियर स्टेट जो मॉनिटरिंग वाइल्ड लाइफ मॉनिटरिंग हो पेट्रोलिंग हो तेणु विभिन्न जगह आम ही टॉप सब रही आसू इट्स ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ द कंट्रीब्यूशन फ्रॉम Congratulations, Monica. Thank you very much. With this, we come to the end of this session. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद टेक्निकल सेशन पूरा समस्त स्पीकर्स मानते बहुत सुंदर मत सब उपस्थापन कले तो वर्तमान आरंभ करिबा टेक्निकल सेशन 3 रो स्पीकर्स मान को रिक्वेस्ट करबी स्टेज को आसीबे चीफ स्पीकर श्री बीके शर्मा फॉर्मर डीजी पुलिस को स्पीकर श्री जमेश्वर मिश्र जॉइंट डायरेक्टर पब्लिक Persuasion Odisha, please stage to आसन तो हमारा टेक्निकल सेशन का आरंभ होती बीके शर्मा रेस्पेक्टेड ब्रदर बीके शर्मा और श्री जमेश्वर मिश्र ଆପଣମାନେ କଣ
आज आम परम सौभाग्य विषय ओडिशार जड़े ओडिशार कौन भारत विषय प्रख्यात पुलिस अफिसर रामान ग्रहण उपस्थित अच्छा सी आम पूर्वतन डायरेक्टर जनरल ऑफ पुलिस श्रीजुक्त विजय कुमार शर्मा से इंटरनेशनल आरंभ कर वाइल्ड लाइफ क्राइम मैनेजमेंट और डिटेक्शन रिसर्च एप्लिकेशन अभ्यस्त थे तेणु आज धन्य तेणु बर्तमान से कौन परिचय देवी से समस्त पाखे अति परिचित मु बर्तमान श्रीजुक्त शर्मा बाबू अनुरोध कर वक्तव्य रखिए।
Good afternoon to everybody present in the auditorium. It's really a matter of privilege that I have been invited to this session. My profound gratitude to Dr. Devabrata Swami, Mr. Pitashi Mahamsi and others. Actually, honestly speaking, I look for an opportunity like this when I can interact with forest officers. More life because I was a policeman, so I have interacted with police officers. So when I see people in uniform, something tweaks inside me. And when I realize that I am talking to forest officers, I feel really good. That's because more imiti chinta kararo that wildlife crime is one area in which I take a lot of interest, where forest officers can do wonderfully well, but maybe because of variety of reasons we have not been paying as much attention as it is. Actually, I knew nothing about wildlife crime. When I was SP Bhubaneswar way back in 1995-96, there was a very big seizure of wildlife crime. This was done by lead and DFO called Vikram Singh. Vikram and there was an ASP called Rajneesh Rai, ସେମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ବହୁତ ବଡ଼ ସିଜର କଲେ ଯୋଉଟା ବହୁତ ବର୍ଷ ପରେ 2020 ରେ ତାର conviction, but I still didn't know much about it. In 99 I went on deputation to CBI Delhi, and as luck would have been I was made in charge of the wildlife crimes. So I was very disappointed because I had gone to CBI to investigate big cases. CBI ଯିବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ମୁଁ ଭାବୁଥିଲି ଯେ ସେଠି ଗଲେ mega cases involving international ramifications ମୁଁ କରିବି ଏ ମୋତେ କ'ଣ ବାଘ ଛାଲ elephant task ଧରିବା ପାଇଁ ଦେଉଛି. But you'll not believe, when I took over charge within 7 days, so many NGOs and wildlife activists came and started meeting me. Then I realized, oh my God, this is a huge area. And then the interest generated, and for last 20 years or so I have been continuously associated myself with wildlife crime. Anyway, that's my background and interest in wildlife crime, because now I am retired. Whatever little knowledge I have about it, I would love to pass it on to forest officers and police officers who are interested in wildlife crime. And in that perspective, I am thankful to Save Elephant Foundation who have given me this opportunity. Now my presentation basically has 3 things which I want to talk about. प्रथमे मु टिके wildlife crime विषय रे पढि, I mean how huge is the dimension. And secondly, I want to talk about the law, Wildlife Protection Act रे कौन prevention एवं investigation विषय अछि. The third thing I want to talk about investigation. But in the investigation I don't want to talk about conventional crime, कारण आपण माने जानि छथि कोठी गुटे टाइगर कोचिंग गले कि गुटे एलिफेंट टास्क सीजर रे तार इन्वेस्टिगेशन केमती करा जाय से विषय रे आपण जानि. I will only talk about internet wildlife crime which happens on the web. जोटा बहुत अधिक होउची एवं हेले ताको आपण पॉइंट करी इन्वेस्टिगेशन करे. So these are the three areas in which I would touch upon. Now, why do we need an act? Why Wildlife Protection Act is necessary? See, environmental crime is one of the fastest growing areas of criminal activity. But a World Bank report which came out in 2019 and another one is due maybe early part of 2024, it says USD $200 billion for all wildlife crime related estimation. USD $200 billion for illegally traded species value hochi world. USA is, which is the toughest wildlife law. US has extraterritorial wildlife law. The wildlife crime which is committed in Philippines and brought to US can prosecute that Philippine citizen. So US has the toughest wildlife law, but it is still the biggest consumer of wildlife products, and in spite of its extraterritorial jurisdiction and stringent laws, it has not been able to control it. World market for wildlife includes nearly 2 lakh pangolins. 3 lakh pangolin mara jauchi. Odisha re one of the highest. In fact, in 2020, I wrote an article in Sanctuary about the pangolin trade. And every now and then, forest officers and police officers, including STF, see pangolins in different parts of Odisha. More than 25,000 monkeys are traded, 10 million orchids, 2.5 million live birds, 10 million reptile skills, and many other diverse items. Now, CITES officially records that illegal trade in wildlife is next only in size to trade in narcotics and may equal that in armament. It's an official statement of CITES. I'm sure each one of you know what CITES is. WWF traffic estimates wildlife crime to be the 5th largest illegal trade in the world after drugs, counterfeiting, human trafficking and oil. UN Office on Drug and Crime, UNODC, recognizes environmental crime as a new form of transnational organized crime. That means a concerted response. It say crime हुए जो गुटे गार और पोचर भी जाएगी गुटे crime कर दो. It is transnational, which exceeds the boundary of a country and has connectivity with many other countries. Like Odisha में भी हमें जानी चु that elephant tusk and tiger skins which are traded from Odisha often go out of the country. So it's a transnational organized crime. Statistics are absolutely grim. I mean, these statistics are not something which I have invented. They are just there. This has been officially proved. Now, an elephant is African elephant. I am not talking about Indian elephant. African elephant primarily. An elephant is poached about every 30 minutes. In Africa, rhino is killed for its horn every 18 hours, with 548 of those killed in 2022 alone. This is an official statistics. The pangolin is captured from the wild every 5 minutes. That is 2 lakhs pangolins are per annum are killed. Prati 5 minutes re gote pangolin ko mara jauchi. 3 out of 8 subspecies of tigers, all of you know, have disappeared. That is primarily because of poaching and conservation neglect. 5 subspecies of tigers are surviving, 3 have gone. Now, Financial Action Task Force. This is something which is Paris-based organization. It is wildlife crime जो finance एवं जो illegal money generate करूँची. This task force talks about. The Financial Action Task Force report dated June 2020 states that illegal wildlife trade generates revenue up to 23 billion per annum. It has links with modern slavery, drug trade and arms smuggling. Serious wildlife crime is organized, transnational, fueled by corruption, has a devastating impact on wildlife, local community, national economy, security, public health and entire ecosystem. Scientifically linked to the origin of SARS coronavirus in Wuhan, the cost of wildlife related pandemics are absolutely incalculable. We all know about the coronavirus pandemic when it came in 2020 and for next one more year. Now, Internet, about which I'll talk more later, has emerged as the most powerful instrument for illegal trade. Between 2018 and 2021, this coalition to end wildlife trafficking online is a coalition in which many leading organizations and internet companies are members. They detected and removed some 11.6 million illegal wildlife trade-related posts or advertisements from the platform. 11.6 million advertisements, विभिन्न wildlife product विषय केला. Low risk and high profitability have made wildlife crime an extremely attractive proposition. Now, because of poaching, cheetah, pink-headed duck, stellar sea cow, Mauritian dodos, passenger pigeons, they have all disappeared. Many others, including black rhino, giant otter, Tibetan antelope, tiger, are highly threatened. Now, in this background, wildlife needs to be preserved, and that's why we have a Wildlife Protection Act. Now, what is the background of enactment of this act? Now, India, as you know, was the favorite hunting ground of the kings and the chieftains, the colonialists and the elite, and taxidermists, poachers and trappers. In fact, Asutile shooting kariba pai, even the king of England used to come here for shooting tigers. Now, at the turn of the last century, tigers were so numerous. It said that 1 billion tigers roamed the forest of India. Maharaja Ramanuj Saram Singhdeo, the ruler of Sarguja, he claimed to have killed 1159 tigers. 1169 tigers se Marichandji Wali claim kara. Rampant poaching led to severe decimation of tiger numbers, and by 1960 the numbers had come down to precarious low levels of a few thousand. The last surviving Asiatic cheetah that was shot dead in 1950s, and now we are bringing back cheetahs from Africa, from South Africa, and introducing them in Kuno Palapur Wildlife Sanctuary in Madhya Pradesh. Now, population of several other species post-independence had also declined. That includes crocodile, that includes elephant, which were being poached for their ivory, the rhinoceros, which were killed for their horn, mistakenly believed to have aphrodisiac qualities. Poaching of Tibetan antelope or chiru, from where you extract the underbelly soft fur for making of shatu shawls, those were severely declining in Jammu and Kashmir. And there was only one legislation which was enacted by the British called Wild Birds and Animal Protection Act 1912. This lacked effectiveness. In fact, even though it was forest officers who were enforcing it, surprisingly the forest officers did not have the power to prosecute. So Caesarpal, a forest officer, used to hand over the case to a police officer who alone had the power to prosecute under the act. And the penalties were ridiculous. Something like, if you maybe a month's imprisonment or a few hundred rupees, that is the level of penalty. So there was a lot of demand and there was a lot of clamor that there should be a tougher Wildlife Protection Act. And even somebody like Frederick Champion or Jim Corbett also said that India should protect the remaining wildlife or else it will completely be gone. So in 1952, the National Wildlife Advisory Board also said, which is headed by the Prime Minister, that we should have a tougher legislation to prevent hunting. In this background, 1969 IUCN conference came up in Delhi, where suddenly Mrs. Gandhi, the Prime Minister, made an announcement that we will have post-1967, after the IUCN conference, we will have a tough legislation to contain wildlife crime. But then there was a legal problem. Legal problem was the Union government did not have the power under the Forest and the Wildlife to legislate on wildlife crime. That was because the Forest and the Wildlife was included in State List of Scheduled Tribes, which is the schedule in the Constitution distributing various kinds of subjects. So there was a provision in the Constitution in Article 252 where two state assemblies passed the resolution, and finally in the winter session of 1972 the Wildlife Protection Act came into existence. Rules followed in 1974 and forestry and wildlife were finally shifted in 1976 to concurrently so that both union and state governments could legislate on it. Now the Wildlife Protection Act has undergone since 1972, this is 23, it has been 50 years. In fact, a lot of books have been written. I saw a wonderful book called Wildlife at 50, edited by late IFS officer Manoj Mishra. A wonderful book, which is a collection of around 30-40 articles, where they also deal with the effectiveness of Wildlife Protection Act from enforcement perspective. So it has undergone a lot of amendment during last 50 years. The first amendment came in 1982, the next was in 1986 where complete prohibition of trade of animal took place. Then honorary wildlife wardens were appointed, of which Mr. Aditya Panda, who was here, is an honorary wildlife warden. Honorary wildlife warden thing came in 1991 amendment. 2002 amendment brought in a very unique chapter, which is forfeiture of property, which unfortunately none of us are using in Odisha. In fact, I doubt if there are even enabling notifications under the chapter for appointment of a competent officer and an investigating officer. A CCF rank officer is supposed to be the competent authority, and a DIG level officer is supposed to be the investigating authority for forfeiture of property. Why this particular provision is not being used is a different scenario altogether. Because in 2002, when Prevention of Money Laundering Act came, wildlife has been included in the schedule. And once wildlife has been included in the schedule, it is the Enforcement Directorate which is looking into illegally generated profit from wildlife. So this particular chapter, which was an amendment to confiscate money generated out of wildlife crime, virtually has become redundant, and nobody is using it. I haven't come across. There has been only one conviction so far, one conviction, and that conviction is of notorious poacher called Motilal, and that was under PMLA, that is under Prevention of Money Laundering Act, not under Wildlife Protection Act, for having earned money out of illegal wildlife trade. Now, the next important amendment came in 2006, where NTCA was established. Mr. Anup Naik headed NTCA for some time. Rajesh Gopal and all, and then WCCB, which is a powerful organization now, because they have got the power to file a complaint as well. So WCCB was established in 2006, but for 15-16 years till 2022, WCCB continued to be an advisory body, didn't have the power to make seizures, didn't have the power to file a complaint. The most significant amendment came last December 2022. That's considered to be a landmark. So what basically did, there were 6 schedules earlier in Wildlife Protection Act. Those schedules were rationalized and those were brought down to 4 schedules. A new schedule called Schedule 4 was added to the Wildlife Protection Act, and that is to fulfill the commitment of India to the CITES treaty. So everything that the CITES schedules contain, everything verbatim, starting from point number 1 of the CITES Act schedules, everything has been reproduced in the Wildlife Protection Act Schedule 4. So you will come across things which you don't understand, you will come across generic names only in Schedule 4. But anyway, this is our commitment to CITES, so we have fulfilled that commitment. There was a very, in wildlife trade, there were a lot of cases of alien species being brought into India, and we didn't know how to prosecute them. There were seizures here and there, including in Assam, in northeast borders, of wildlife species which were not native to India. Those were from Brazil, for example, marmoset or something, which came from some other country. And the Wildlife Protection Act, because it confined itself to the native species, it never allowed prosecution. So we didn't know how to prosecute in case you seize a species which is not native to India. So this has been taken care of by this amendment, where they say invasive alien species of plants and animals defined as species which is not native to India. Now those are prosecutable under Wildlife Protection Act. Now people possessing specimen of scheduled animal must have a registration certificate, and those who do not have a registration certificate, their holding is illegal. This has been held by the Supreme Court very recently also. The penalties were enhanced, which were, I'll deal with the penalties, so I'm not talking about the penalties now. There was a controversial amendment which is very crucial to the Save Elephant Foundation, is to allow transportation of captive elephants with valid ownership certificate for religious or any other purpose. Now this particular clause, which was brought in by December 2022 amendment, is absolutely ominous in character. To me, it has a lot of, it can have a lot of adverse consequences in the long run. Now, this amendment also creates an exception to section 12, which provides that Schedule 1 animals like elephants can be captured only for special purposes. And section 12 is specific. It says what are those specific special purposes, like education, scientific research, translocation to an alternative suitable habitat, population management, collection of specimens for recognized use and museum. These are the grounds on which, under section 12, a Schedule 1 animal, including elephant, can be transported. But section 43 amendment, which is extremely controversial, it created another reason of transportation. That says for religious or any other purpose. Now, animal activists and reservationists have said that it will potentially increase the illegal capture of wild elephant. That's for sure. But more important than that, from a humanistic point of view, this would result in brutal exploitation of elephant. We all know in some of the religious institutions in South India how elephant in the name of training are kept and confined for years together. And we have all seen movies, read books and seen in person how some of them are used in religious festivities like Puram, and how they are trained in dark wooded structures which are known as kraals. And the latitude that this amendment gives will surely increase the brutal exploitation of the elephants in the name of training and for their religious use. Now, in 1996, when the first Supreme Court ban came for timber logging, then all these elephants in the northeast which were used for timber logging, they all became spare. They no longer could be used for timber logging. So all these elephants were loaned for various purposes from one state to another, but for a limited purpose, and that too with the permission of the Chief Wildlife Warden. Now, that restriction which was there post 1996, because of section 43, that restriction is gone because of this amendment of section 43, which the 2022 amendment has brought in. Now, if you see what is the amendment, religious or any other purpose. Now, any other purpose doesn't have a fixed definition. Any other purpose can be limitless definition. It all depends on who is transporting and who is allowing the transportation. So this can have limitless meaning and result in exploitation of elephants. It may promote institutionalized corruption because the ownership certificate should be forged. There has to be an ownership certificate for transportation that can be forged for transparent transport of animals. The Parliamentary Standing Committee of MOF NCC, which was headed by Jairam Ramesh, who was the earlier Minister of Forest and Environment, had opposed it, and it said that this controversial section should be deleted. But for reasons which are obvious, because of the religious thing into it, this section was retained, and I'm particularly not very happy with this section because in the long run, this section will really create a lot of problems. Anyway, now let me deal with the offence part of it, prevention and detection of offences. Section 50 empowers. Now please note, earlier it was forest officer, police officer not below the rank of sub-inspector. Now what they've added, custom officer not below the rank of inspector, coast guard officer not below the rank of assistant commandant to enter, search, arrest, detain in case of commission of wildlife crime. This is 2022 amendment. So there are two additions to it. One is custom inspector, the other one is assistant commandant of the coast guard. Now, this is a good, welcome amendment because custom has been traditionally seizing a lot of wildlife product. Most of the airports you see, custom has been very active. I mean, I know for last 25 years, custom has been making great seizures of star tortoise at Chennai airport. Custom has been making seizures of a lot of wildlife products at Mumbai airport. Now, because customs have DRI, which is part of the custom organization, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence. They have Air Intelligence Unit, they have Special Intelligence and Investigation Branch, SIIB, and then Marine Preventive Wing, MPW. So they can do well and they will contribute to prevention and detection of crime. Similarly, Coast Guard, which is patrolling our 12-kilometer area of the seas, That also would be able to prevent smuggling of exotic species through marine routes. So this is a very welcome thing. Now, if any of these officers that we mentioned has reasonable ground to believe that an offence has been committed, it may require any person to produce for inspection, stop any vehicle, vessel, search any premise, land, vehicle or vessel, seize any wild captive animal together with any trap tool, vehicle, vessel or weapon, and arrest without warrant and detain if he feels that the person may not appear to answer the charges. Now, it should be lawful for the officer also to give him time to produce his license or permit if he has. If he says, no, I have a license for producing this particular wildlife, he can be given time to produce it. Now, there is an issue that whether CBI has the power to investigate into these offences or not. So CBI, it was contended before the Supreme Court that CBI really doesn't have the power to investigate because nowhere in section 50 it is mentioned that CBI has been authorized. It says police officers not below the rank of sub-inspector. But in a landmark judgment called Motilal versus CBI, which when I was in CBI, I was part of the team which defended this case, and Motilal engaged Ram Jethmalani to appear on his behalf. Imagine, Motilal is a very notorious poacher. He engaged Ram Jethmalani, who was one of the topmost lawyers of the country and charged a huge amount of money. He appeared to defend Motilal in the Supreme Court, but finally we won because the Supreme Court said no, CBI officers are police officers, and by virtue of that, they have the power to serve. That's how the wildlife crime unit of CBI is thriving, and every now and then they have very big cases coming up to them. And starting from, if you remember, there were two cases in 99 and 2000. In 99 there was a very big case called Ghaziabad seizure, and in 2000 there was a very big case called Khaga seizure in UP. These are the two landmark cases from where CBI has picked up a lot of wildlife related work. Otherwise CBI was not interested in wildlife. Now section 58, which is what most of the rangers and ACF need, is the most crucial section. Now section 58, it says that the special power to ACF and above ranked officer, it says for the purpose of investigation an ACF can issue a search warrant, enforce attendance of witnesses, compel discovery and production of documents, receive and record evidence. Now this is very crucial. Receive and record evidence. I am sure each one of you do it. I have read some of the statements that many of the foresters and rangers, many of the rangers and many of the ACFs have recorded when I was in training. Now, this power which has been given to an ACF is practically a quasi-judicial power. But this power is absolutely meaningless unless you record it in the presence of the accused and show it on your record that it has been recorded on the presence of the accused. Section 59 says that it has to be recorded in presence of the accused. You see, do you distinguish between the power of a police officer and the power of a forest officer? Now a police officer, if he records any statement in presence of the accused, including his admission, it is not admissible under section 25 of the CRPC. But here forest officers have been put in a different pedestal altogether. Forest officers have been given the power to record evidence including confessional statement, and that too in presence of the accused. I can assure you that if you record this statement properly, you can fetch a conviction. If it is backed by some seizure, obviously. If there is no wildlife, there cannot be any seizure. There cannot be any conviction. If there is a wildlife product and there is a full-fledged, properly recorded statement under section 50 clause 9, 50 clause 8 recorded by the ACF, it can fetch you a conviction. You don't really need much about it. Unfortunately, I've seen many of these statements do not get recorded properly. Many of these statements are recorded in extremely haphazard, non-compliant manner which doesn't stand the scrutiny of law. So please devise an SOP where a statement under section 58 for ACFs are recorded in a manner that it is legally compliant, it is legally admissible, and courts will be willing to sustain a conviction on the basis of that statement. So that will be my appeal to the Forest Department. Section 51 of the Act provides for punishment. Anybody who is contravening the Act shall be liable for imprisonment up to 3 years, and as per आउती देखा जाए स्थिति देखा जाए एठी okay in case of a second conviction he will liable for imprisonment of 3 to 7 years, and if the offence relates to an animal included in Schedule 1 or Appendix 1 of Schedule 4 as per the 2022 amendment, then the punishment shall be imprisonment for minimum 3, maximum 7, and fine which shall not be less than 25,000. Now any person committing an offence in a tiger reserve, he gets minimum 3 years and maximum 7 years, fine of 50,000 to 2 lakh rupees, first conviction, and second conviction minimum 7 years, and fine of 5 to 50 lakhs for the second or subsequent conviction, if it is a tiger reserve. Then upon conviction, court may order any seized animal etc. to be forfeited to the state. Court may order cancellation of license granted to hold weapon or permit to enter. Upon conviction, weapon licensee shall be debarred to hold a license for 5 years. Benefit of Section 360 CRPC, which is Probation of Offenders Act, shall not be given to the accused if it relates to hunting in a sanctuary or a national park. Now this was challenged in Delhi High Court by notorious poacher called Sansar Chand, now dead. And Delhi High Court said that this Probation of Offenders Act benefit cannot be given to a poacher whose profession is to kill innocent animals for the purpose of his business. So, Probation of Offenders Act does not apply in case of conviction under Wildlife Protection Act, subject to some of the stipulations that it provides. Section 51A specifies that when someone is accused of commissioning of an offence relating to animal in Schedule 1, then bail shall not be given unless two clauses. PP has been given the opportunity to oppose the bail, and the court is convinced that he is not guilty of the offence and shall not commit any offence while on bail. Now, please understand the ramification and importance of these two clauses. These two clauses puts Wildlife Protection Act on a pedestal equivalent to Narcotic Drug and Psychotropic Substance Act and Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Because in these two statutes, NDPS Act and PMLA, these are the two preconditions which are there for granting of bail. This virtually basically say that bail shall not be given. Now please try to ponder why everybody is getting bail. Please try to understand why whenever an ACM or a ranger produces an accused person charged with an offence, why most of the courts are giving you bail. There the question about documentation is very important. The first report, FIR or whatever you call the crime report which you write, is so very important for securing the fellow to be inside, that if you write a report which is not legally compliant and which doesn't disclose commission of the offence under Wildlife Protection Act, the court will be compelled to give bail to the fellow. Even though the stipulation is, it's only when the court is convinced that the fellow has not committed the crime, then only he shall be released. We have not been able to take advantage of these two stringent provisions of law in matters of bail because of the perfunctory nature of investigation or inquiry that we conduct. So please improve your documentation. I can guarantee you, under Section 51A, no accused charged of a wildlife offence shall be given to bail. He shall be in jail for some time. Now Section 54 gives power to the forest officer to compound, provided there is no minimum punishment. But compounding of offence is only up to ₹5 lakhs. Section 55 of the Act specifies, this is very important, who files the complaint. It says that a complaint shall be filed and no court shall take cognizance unless it is filed by the following category of officers. 1. Director Wildlife Preservation or any officer authorized on this behalf by the state government. 2. Director of the concerned tiger reserve. 3. Member Secretary MTCA. 4. Management Authority or Officer of Wildlife Crime Control Bureau as per 2022 amendment, which is what I mentioned, that Wildlife Crime Control Bureau now has the power to investigate and file a complaint. And 5. Chief Wildlife Warden or any officer authorized by the state government, that is ACF in Odisha. You see, number 1, 2, 3, 4, they don't file a complaint because they don't investigate. It's only 5, which is ACF, who files a complaint. Now, police officers, how crime branch in Odisha files a complaint? Crime branch in Odisha files a complaint because of the notification under section 55, taking advantage of that small thing, any other officer authorized by the state government. So state government has authorized inspectors of police posted in crime branch to file a complaint under section 55 of the Wildlife Protection Act. And similar notification was issued by the central government, by the ministry in respect of officers of CBI board. So these are the officers who can file a complaint. Now there are situations where police can also register an FIR. What happens? Suppose a vehicle is going and some wildlife product gets seized and the seizure is done by police. So police often register an FIR. But police doesn't register an FIR under Wildlife Protection Act. Police register an FIR under IPC section 447, 429, 379. चोरी ହେଇଛି ତ 379 ଜଙ୍ଗଲରୁ ଚୋରି କରି ନେଇ ଗଲେ ବାଘଟାକୁ ଆପଣ ଜଙ୍ଗଲରୁ ଚୋରି କରି ମାରିକି ବାଘଟାକୁ ଚୋରି କରି ନେଇ ଗଲେ ତ 379 ଲଗେଇଲେ 429 ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ଲଗେଇଲେ Wildlife Protection Act ରେ ସେମାନେ କେସ୍ ରେଜିଷ୍ଟର କରନ୍ତି ନାହିଁ କାରଣ 55 ତାଙ୍କର ପାୱାର ଅଛି ସିଜର under section 50 but they don't have the power to file a complaint under section 55 so they don't register an offence under Wildlife Protection Act they register an offence under these sections now police cannot file a complaint under section 55 which is what so ideally speaking police should hand over but police in many instances do not hand over and I know about cases police have also filed a charge sheet not a complaint police have filed a charge sheet also then what happens so when police files a charge sheet under section 173 CRPC which is the section for filing a charge sheet then it will be governed by section 210 CRPC 210 CRPC says that there cannot be double jeopardy. So this was clarified by the Supreme Court in Murad Ali. We said that there cannot be second cognizance to prevent double jeopardy and section 210 CRPC shall have no role to play in this. So there is a dichotomy which is what, so be on the watch out. Whenever you get a information that police has done a seizure, please approach the local police station and tell them to hand over the product to you. Police would be initially hesitant but would see reason and hand it over to you. There would be few instances but whenever a charge sheet is filed by the police under these sections, under section 173 CRPC, it results in an extremely embarrassing situation and I don't know of any case which has ended in conviction. It for sure will end in acquittal. Anyway, section 56 allows the operation of other laws for prosecution of offences. Though this is very important. It doesn't say that only for a wildlife offence only Wildlife Protection Act is applicable. There are other sections also which can be equally applicable depending on the nature of the section. Suppose a weapon has been used, the Arms Act can be filed by the police. Suppose it's an organized Naxalite group which is killing wildlife. So UAPA can also be, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act can also be invoked by the police. So the act per se is not preventing application of other sections when wildlife crime is connected with some other crime at the time of commission. So any act or omission under WLPA can also be prosecuted under other laws and the offender can also be liable for higher punishment. For instance, if Arms Act provides for higher punishment or for instance the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act provides for higher punishment which is 10 years, so that the fellow would also be liable for higher punishment. However, no person can be punished twice for the same offence. It's not that upon the Wildlife Act will be punished for the police be prosecute for no, there will be only one prosecution. Under section 57, burden of proof is on the accused. Now mind it, we are not getting any conviction in this state. We are not getting conviction in, we are not getting as many conviction as we expect throughout the country. In fact, on an Indian scenario also, our Wildlife Protection Act basic conviction hona. Even though the burden of proof is on the accused. Do you understand the implication of this? In a criminal offence, the burden of proof is never on the accused. The burden of proof is on the prosecution. But here adversarial burden works. Adversarial burden means the accused has to prove that no, I have not committed this crime. Under section 57. We are not able to take advantage of this section, which places Wildlife Protection Act on a much higher pedestal than many of the ordinary penal legislation, primarily because our documentation is not good. If our documentation is good, if our case records are good, this section 57 will come to our advantage and we will surely be able to get a conviction. Because adversarial burden of proof is against the accused. He has to prove that I am innocent. He cannot prove because you have a seizure. You have a seizure to prove that this seizure, this particular skin or this particular ivory was recovered from him. Anyway, now I'll talk about investigation of crime. This is all about the law. I don't have much of time. I'll take 5 more minutes to complete. I don't want to talk about conventional crime. All of you know about conventional crime. Bagota, Koti Gude Maridechi, some scheduled one animal has been killed. You know how to investigate. You make a seizure of elephant tusk or a skin, you know how to investigate. That's something which most of the rangers and ACFs and senior officers are fairly conversant. I want to talk about only internet wildlife crime. Wildlife crime which is happening on the internet. Wildlife crime which is happening on the web. This is where the future is. Don't think that 10 years down the line there will be any wildlife crime where WhatsApp will not be used or email will not be used. Now if WhatsApp is used or email is used, how do you take the evidence to the court? WhatsApp is end-to-end encrypted. Email is recipient and originator. How do you get the email chats? How do you get the WhatsApp chats? How do you preserve the electronic evidence? How do you take it to the court? So they are the challenges. And unfortunately, this is where we have not been doing enough to meet the challenge. I'm not talking about forest alone, I'm talking about police as well. Police started to deal with cybercrime slightly earlier. I mean, the first cybercrime police station in Odisha was set up on 2nd of October 2006. So it has been 17 years down the line. Then internet was not being used for wildlife crime. But since about last 10 years or so, a decade or so, internet is the topmost, #1 medium for commission of wildlife crime. Even if somebody is sitting in a village, kills a tiger or kills a leopard, he doesn't go around with the skin to the market to sell it. He goes to the digital market, he goes to the web market to sell it. He goes to the internet to sell it. And there are buyers who are everywhere, not just in the country but also outside the country. So how do you investigate? This will take a lot of time. So because time was limited, so I made a few slides on this. Okay, what is internet crime? Internet crime is the fastest expanding crime mode in the world today, and wildlife internet crime is no exception. Because internet being used for crime is expanding, so internet being used for wildlife crime is bound to expand. Now CITES issued an official definition of internet wildlife. It says, crime involving any illegal specimen enabled or facilitated by the use of information and communication technology networks, including inter alia, the public web, dark web, online marketplace, social networking platforms, instant chat applications, peer-to-peer network or email services. Some of the mediums which are defined in the CITES definition. Now traffic estimates that at least half of illicit trading in wildlife product worldwide is in online mode. It's no longer on physical mode. Now, as per 2021 progress report of Coalition to End Wildlife Trafficking Online, which I mentioned at the beginning, which is a coalition of WWF, Traffic, IFO and all leading internet companies, the 11.6 million advertisements on illegal wildlife trade were removed during the period of 2018 to 2021. In a period of 4 years, 11.6 million advertisements were available which were removed. Now, what attracts criminals to use internet for wildlife crime? So there is a lot of privacy. Who is accessing net? Either I know or the company or the platform where I access the net, that platform knows. The world doesn't know about it. There is a lot of anonymity. Who am I? I can open an account in somebody else's name. In fact, if you search, you will find funny names as the ID of people. So you want to conceal your identity, you can be anonymous in the web. You can make payment through apps and cryptocurrencies. You don't have to make payment in physical terms or whatever. You operate in a country where the laws are very stringent. So you switch over to another country where laws are not all that stringent. Every country does not have uniform stringent law. Our wildlife law is fairly stringent, but not necessarily Sri Lankan wildlife law is equally stringent, or Pakistani wildlife law is equally stringent. So then there is an algorithm of social media. Now if you are using YouTube and seeing a particular kind of video, next time the moment you open YouTube, it will show you that kind of video. So that's the algorithm which most of these social media platforms use. The algorithm of the platform makes it easy for you to use internet. There is end-to-end encryption in WhatsApp. The data doesn't get stored in the server. If you send a notice to WhatsApp, WhatsApp says our servers are only platforms to pass on the data. Our servers do not retain anything. These are not retentive servers, these are only transferring servers. So the voice mail or voice or the message or the video passes through our server, we don't retain anything, we can give you nothing. There are a lot of e-commerce sites and there are dark web where all these make it very attractive. There is difficulty in getting storage data and information from telecom and cyber, including social media companies. It's not easy. There is a laid down legal process through which you have to go and get it. Then there is many of these social media companies do not have India offices. Many of these social media companies have offices outside India. And many of these social media dark web companies, you don't know where the offices are. So how do you get international cooperation? Suppose it's based in Switzerland. For instance, Photon Mail. Photon Mail is based in Switzerland. How do you get data from Photon Mail? Yahoo and Gmail have their offices in Bangalore or Gurgaon or wherever. But there are many other kind of mails, Hush Mail, Photon Mail. How do you get the data? They are based in Switzerland. So the international cooperation is not such an easy thing to have. Then there is lack of professional knowledge, as I mentioned. Both forest and police do not have that kind of skill to really get this information. I'll only talk about two mediums which are extensively used. Two. I'll only talk about WhatsApp and email. Now WhatsApp is the most popular instant messaging app with over 2 billion users worldwide. Now what are the advantages of WhatsApp? End-to-end encryption. So the recipient and the originator, these are the only two persons who know about it. Nobody else knows about it, including WhatsApp. Now there is a lot of privacy. Obviously privacy is misused also. So people indulge in all kinds of things in privacy. So what I write, what I send, what I see is all private to me or the person who is showing it to me. There is location sharing which is automatic. Now your location wherever you are, WhatsApp will share your location. Then payment options and features which was not there, now payment options are also available. The geolocation sharing happens in real-time basis. You don't have to wait, it will happen immediately. Then there are community or group coordinates to share information. So you can form groups where you can share information. So one message goes to hundreds of people. Then status is used for advertising wildlife. So you have a tiger skin, you want to sell it, just upload that photo of that skin in your status. Now there is a recently introduced channel which is giving you the option. If you scroll down, you see there are a lot of channels in WhatsApp down. So those channels are used for reaching larger audience. So you can be a part of the channel and be, if there is a wildlife channel or there is a channel which is selling product illegally, you can be part of that channel and get a lot of information. So this is WhatsApp. These are the advantages. And email. Now emails are extensively used. I mean, not now, they have been used for last 10, 15, 20 years now. See that they are not using regular emails like Gmail. I mean, I'm talking from my experience. They are not using Yahoo or Gmail. They are using some of the encrypted services like Photon Mail, Hush Mail, Counter Mail, and variety of mails which are available in Europe and American setups. These emails are digital footprints. We can always analyze these emails by using various open source intelligence and other tools. We can get a lot of information about these emails. But we need to understand how do we reach these emails, how do we analyze the email, how do we retrieve those emails, and how do we use them as electronic evidence. Now, by issuing notices under relevant, and then it can be shared to the National Central Bureau, that is CBI, by using section 166B, because these encrypted services, and there is no way that they will reply to your notices. These processes take time. I agree that they do take a lot of time. That's why UN is now coming up with a cybercrime convention. It has already been proposed. It has to be ratified by all the member states. Once the cybercrime convention is approved by the UN for facilitating exchange of information and exchange of communication technology, then getting information from other countries would be possible. But as of now, you have no other choice except to go through the MLAT, that is 166B CRPC. Then once you get the email, by whatever means you get the email, you can use lot of tools which are available, and these tools are free downloads. You don't have to buy. They are free downloads available in the internet. Some of them I am citing: Intelligence X, Spiderfoot, Hunter. These are very easy. You have to enter the relevant words. They keep on changing the words also. They are not fools to use tiger skin. तारा नाम बदले कि ताकू कर दे जल्दी tiger skin को बोंदी आलू ALOO Tuscarora white tuna. So they use all kind of things. But then you feed in. You know, aloo is something which we know. White tuna is something which we know. You feed in those words, and immediately you will get a lot of information from those email analysis. Now, what is the legal framework? The legal framework under section 91 and 92 CRPC, you can issue, forest officer can issue notice, not directly because that power is not available to you, but you can do it through the court for the purpose of inquiry under wildlife protection. You can do it through the court, and you will get information. You will get whatever information is necessary. Section 9(2) of the Indian Telegraph Act empowers state government or an officer authorized to do telephone interception. That is for preventing incitement to the commission of an offence. Now, for preventing a wildlife crime, you can do an interception under section 5(2). Now, the forest and police officers may do it through IGCID. Now, I am told, this is slightly dated, I am told that forest officers have been empowered to do interception. So, at the forest headquarters, you need to set up an interception cell where, you see, interception is not enough. You have to do recording. And you have to maintain the sanctity of the recording, or else these recordings are not admissible in the court of law. So, you have to set up a interception center like police have. There the interceptions can be recorded. Now, section 69 of the Information Technology Act 2000, it says that any officer authorized by it is satisfied that for investigation of any offence, interception, monitoring or decryption of any information generated, transmitted, received or stored in any computer resources necessary, then it is possible under section 69 of the Information Technology Act. Now, forest and police officers can do so under the IGCID, who is authorized under this act. Rule 31J of IT Rules 2021, it says that intermediary has to provide you the information within 72 hours. Bhaskari Ghanta Mitre, Apanku, Yahoo, Gmail has to provide you information within 72 hours if it relates to investigation of protective or cyber security activities for the purpose of prevention, detection, investigation, or prosecution of offences under any law. Now, very interestingly, forest officers can see this information because you are entrusted with protective activities relating to prevention, detection and prosecution of offences under Wildlife Protection Act. So, under section 3(1)J of IT Rules 2021, you can seek information from an intermediary, and the intermediary will be duty bound to supply you information within 72 hours. I was checking up with Crime Branch, there is some discrepancy on this. I am told that some of the intermediaries are not honouring these requests, but the law is very clear on this. You have the power to get the information from an intermediary by invoking section 69, read with section 3(1)J of the IT Rules 2021. Whenever an information on electronic record is sought, you need a certificate. That certificate has to be under section 65B of the Indian Evidence Act, or else the information will not be admissible in the court of law. You don't have to prove anything. Just a certificate from Yahoo, Gmail, whosoever is giving you the information makes the evidence admissible in the court of law. Certificate must identify the electronic record containing the data and give particulars of the computer device involved in the production of the record. Who computer device lu, who electronic data asila, that the certificate must say clearly. And that certification shall be done by the authorized officer of the service provider, Yahoo, Gmail, whatever. Now, let me briefly touch upon what are the methods of investigation of internet wildlife crime. Now, as I mentioned, a legal framework including letter rogatory are to be used. Second, whenever electronic devices you see, whether it's a mobile phone or it's an iPhone or a computer, you need it to be examined. Now, this examination can be done under section 79 of the Information Technology Act by Examiner of Electronic Evidence, EEE. He is only competent under section 79 to examine your mobile phone or a computer and give you an opinion. Now, I am told that in next 2 months or so, the state FSL will also be declared as an examiner of electronic evidence under section 79. As on now, because the state FSL doesn't have the notification, you have to send it to the CFSL Kolkata for retrieval of data from your mobile phone or computer, whatever you see. Now, cyber patrol or digital detection of the web has to be done on a regular basis. I was very happy to learn that there is an IT cell which is functioning in the PCCF office. Some people can be trained to regularly go to Amazon, eBay, Alibaba and see what are the wildlife products which are being advertised for sale. And you know there are a lot of wildlife products which are getting advertised for sale. Once you collect all these information, whether through section 79 or notice under 91, 92, a lot of AI tools are available, a lot of softwares are available which are free downloads. Some of them can be procured also. They can be used for analysis of data. Now, wherever feasible, conducting undercover operation is absolutely essential. I mean, we need to train some of our police officers. I mean, off the beat, I'll give you an example. When you know about this Pannu case, you know about this terrorist Pannu who is for murdering him, attempt to murdering him, a case has been instituted by US government against us in New York. The fellow who was engaged to kill Pannu, eliminate Pannu, a person called Nikhil Gupta. Nikhil Gupta was in touch with a person who was an undercover operator of FBI, and Nikhil Gupta was regularly talking to him. The FBI fellow posed as somebody who is an ordinary person. So we need to teach our forest personnel to be undercover operators. And once you are undercover operators, which many of you do, develop that requisite skill of contacting a poacher or a trader or a smuggler, you can get a lot of evidence. Because that evidence is something which you as undercover operator can do a secret filming or can do a video recording or whatever. Then there are a lot of databases which are available. I'm sure many of you know these databases, but for methods of investigation, I thought it will be better to recount. There is a database called ETIS, Elephant Trade Information System of Traffic, which tracks seizure and confiscation records. There is a database called MIKE, Monitoring Illegal Killing of Elephants. This is of CITES. This monitors trends of illegal elephant killing. And there is a database called Worldwide Seizure of UNODC, which is worldwide seizure data and provides an overall scenario of wildlife traffic. Another database I want to talk about is Hostile Watch Activity Kernel, HAWK. This is a new database which has been developed by WTI, Wildlife Trust of India. 2 states have already implemented it, Karnataka and Kerala. I would urge forest officers to explore the possibility of signing an MOU with WTI for installation of HAWK database. It will compile all your crime records for last 20-30 years, all cases of wildlife crime registered in the state, all offenders arrested, all complaints filed under section 55, all prosecutions launched and the present status of prosecution. So very good data. So let me there is a nationwide operation which is conducted by Wildlife Crime Control Bureau every year. That's known as Operation Wildnet. This also forest officers may consider to participate. This results in seizure of contraband wildlife products and arrest of offenders. Then regular training, and I would urge that if there is a specialized wildlife cybercrime cell, which is there, good, upgraded skill. If it is not there, please set it up, because many states have set up a specialized wildlife cybercrime cell in the forest headquarters. Now, lay a complaint under section 55 of the Act, complete with all seized materials and documents, including certification under Section 65B of Indian Evidence Act, FSL report, examination report under Section 79 of ITA, and I am sure conviction will come. Now to conclude, let me say that WLP is a comprehensive and complete statute with stringent punishment provisions. After the recent amendment, it is comparable to any international standard. Traditional crime patterns are changing. Those are no longer the conventional crime. It is now internet, which is the medium of wildlife crime, and 10 years down the line it will grow much more. Criminals have operational advantage while investigators, both police and forest, have substantial limitations. So we need to upgrade our skill. That's how we would be able to match them and ensure that our wildlife is protected. Thank you very much.
बहुत धन्यवाद ब्रदर विकेश शर्मा सर। तो ये रिक्वेस्ट करुच्छे हम गणराज्य श्री जमेश्वर मिश्र सर से उपस्थापन करेंगे।
Esteemed Sharma sir and all of the dignitaries from Kuro belongs to Forest Department and all other participants. I have been told only on yesterday to discuss a case which is disposed of in Baripada, Bethnot, coaching of a elephant. I prepared the PPT today on this subject, and also I prescribed some guidelines to follow by the officers who are investigating the offences under parasite. Esteemed Sir has lucidly discussed the provisions of law relating to the Wildlife Protection Act and also how to investigate the offence electronically and by following all the laws. ମୁଁ ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ଆଜି ମାତ୍ର 10 ମିନିଟ୍ 15 ମିନିଟ୍ ଦେବି ଲାଷ୍ଟ ଆୱାର ପରେ ଆପଣମାନେ ଏଥିରେ ସପୋର୍ଟ କରିବେ ତ କହିବେ ତ ଏଥିରେ ଆମେ କିନ୍ତୁ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ଆଣିଛି ପାରାସର ସାର୍ ବି କହିଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ୱାଇଲ୍ଡ ଲାଇଫ୍ ପ୍ରୋଟେକ୍ସନ୍ ଆକ୍ଟରେ କନଭିକ୍ସନ୍ ଭେରି ଲୋ ପାରାସ ମୁଁ ବି ଦେଖିଲା ଭିତରେ ଫାଷ୍ଟ କନଭିକ୍ସନ୍ ହେଇଛି ସମସ୍ତେ ଜାଣିବେ କାହିଁକିନା ବେଥନଟରେ ଏଇ ଯେଉଁ କେସ୍ଟି ହେଲା ବହୁତ ସର୍ଟ ପିରିୟଡ଼ ଭିତରେ ଏଇଟା ସରିଛି କାହିଁକିନା 7/2/23ରେ डिटेक्ट ହେଇଛି କେସ୍ଟା କେସ୍ କନଭିକ୍ସନ୍ ହେଇଯାଇଛି 29/9/2023ରେ ସାର୍ ଭୁଲ ଲେଖା ହେଇଯାଇଛି ଏତିକି 6 ମାସ ଭିତରେ କୋଉଠି କେସ୍ଟା କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟ୍ ହେବା ମୁଁ ବି ଆଜି ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଦେଖିନି ପର୍ଟିକୁଲାରଲି ପାରସ କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟ୍ 9ଟା ସାର୍ ହେଇଯାଇଛି ସେ ଡେଟ୍ ୱାଇଜ୍ କରିଦେଉଛି ସେଟା मैं सिनॉप्सिस करते हैं डेट ऑफ रिकवरी ऑफ डेड बॉडी वैल्यू 7/2/23 पीएम ऑफ द डेड बॉडी ऑफ द एलिफेंट कंडक्टेड on 8/2/23 at 3 PM in the spot and tissues were seized. On 24/23 at 11:30 AM, accused along with others apprehended from whom 4 trucks found. Dr. Adabaichanda, 3 out of 4 accused persons fled away from the spot. Seizure of 4 trucks, jacket of the accused, stone from the accused, Raghunath Tingua, seized stone from the accused, Raghunath Tingua, on dated 24/4/23. 24/4/23 हाथी मरला 7/2 24/4/23 accused को धरछुटी ताको सीजर करछुटी तापरला प्रोविजनल पीआर फाइल ऑन 24/4/23 एफआईआर जो एफआईआर का प्रोविजनल पीआर को करछुटी 24/4/23 on dated 3/5/23 IO sent samples of the exam for examination and on 30/23 he submitted the final PR. बहुत शीघ्र इन्वेस्टिगेशन हो चार्ज फ्रेंड और 18/7/23 चार्ज पे हेगला कमेंसमेंट ऑफ एविडेंस सर 31/7/23 सातटा साक्षी पड़ा है डेट ऑफ जजमेंट हेगला 29/9/23 नेक्स्ट एविडेंस 7 जनकर है 3 जनकर एविडेंस तार भीतर रखी भाइटल एविडेंस 3 एक नंबर BW1 जो कहते they on 24/23 at 11:30 AM saw 4 persons with 2 motorcycles carrying a plastic bag to hook a detained person and said persons, detained said persons, and on being searched, they found 4 numbers of elephant dogs in their bag, and the persons carrying the dogs failed to produce any valid document for such transportation in persons. In the meanwhile, 3 out of 4 escaped in 2 motorcycles. 4 ଜଣକୁ ଧରିଥିଲେ ବାକି 3 ଜଣ ଏସ୍କେପ୍ କରିଥିଲେ, ଜଣିଏ ଲୋକ ରହିଲା, ତାହାକୁ ସିଜରଟା ଦେଖିଲେ। କିନ୍ତୁ ଏଭିଡେନ୍ସରେ ମୋଟୁ ଆଣୁଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ଆମେ 4 ଜଣକୁ ଧରିଲୁ, 4 ଜଣ ବେଗ୍ଟା ଧରିଲୁ, ଠିକ୍ଠାକ୍ ଗାଡ଼ିରେ ଆସିଲେ 4 ଜଣ ବେଗ୍ ଧରିଲୁ, ଏଣ୍ଡେଡିଂ କନଭିକ୍ସନ୍ ଯେମିତିଟା ହଉ, କେମିତି ଏଭିଡେନ୍ସ ଲିଡ୍ ହେଇଛି କେମିତି ଆସିବ। ମୋର ଏଠି ଡିସ୍କସନ୍ କଲା ପରେ ଆପଣ ଆଡଭାଇସ୍ ଅଛି, एविडेंस जहाँ कलेक्ट कले कोर्ट रे प्रोड्यूस करला बेले से मेटिकुलसली प्रोड्यूस करबा दरकार अछि, परफेक्टली प्रोड्यूस करबा दरकार अछि, कोन से करूछो सेटा जानिबा दरकार अछि। Evidence further as they are only able to apprehend 1 person who disclosed his name as Raghunath Pingua, but a convicted. Forest guard Satyajit Sekhar seized 4 tusks, 2 mobile phones and 1 jacket from the accused in their presence. In cross-examination witness testified that they have not verified the identity of the accused and cannot say the exact weight of the seized tusks, but they were approximately 2 kg. Dr. PW4 Satyajit Sekhar just seized the direction माने बाटे धरिबा से because they not start with AC, he received information about playing of dead of elephant in Sapram Nadi. He reached the spot at 6:30 PM, seized the carcass, and in next day on R2AC at 3 PM, the postmortem was conducted on the spot and the tissues and the EAS was seized by him and seizure list was made. On dated 24/23 on direction of RCCD director Civil Park along with PW123 proceeded to Josipur and at 11:15 AM PW1 was informed over phone that 4 persons in 2 motorcycles were transporting tusks from Josipur towards Isoi. At 11:30 AM they saw them carrying plastic bag. On detection, they found 4 elephant tusks in a bag was carried those 4 persons who failed to produce any valid document of the transportation. 3 out of 4 detained fled from the spot and the seizure was made from the person who was present there. In cross-examination, said witness admitted that he cannot say who killed the elephant and tusks were seized on dated 7/2/23. But the evidence of corruption एविडेंस देला बेले क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन रे डिफेंस एडवोकेट कोन पचारछि सेटा बोले माइंडफुली सुना सेठी से कहला बेले 24 तारिख रे सीजर हेछि सेटरे कहउछन जो दिन मल्ला मोटा खबर पाइछन सेही दिन सीज कर दिछन बोले एविडेंस से कहले 7/2/23 PW7 IO testified that on 14/2/23 he was assigned as IO and the UD case and on 17/2/23 he received this spleen tissue, liver tissue, left foreleg tissue seized from the elephant body. Arrested accused on 24/23. He proved the true copy of the report of spleen tissue, liver tissue and left foreleg tissue. Original examination report of dust tissue was marked as P9. That was a correction. After the ethical evidence, अन्य जो 4 जन अछंती से सपोर्ट करछन याको कथा सपोर्ट करछन 5 ये सिंगल विटनेस ये हला से स्पॉट रे देखिबा विटनेस अछि धरला से माने केवल अछि किंतु केस में कोर्ट कौन कले कोर्ट हेल्ड एक्यूज गिल्टी ओनली फॉर इलीगल पोजेशन ऑफ ट्रस्ट पूरा सेक्शन देखै करछन त मारिबा भीतर बसिबा इलीगली ट्रांसफर माने इंग्रेस करबा सेंचुरी एरिया तो सब ऑफेंस देखै करछन तो कोर्ट रे पाइले केवल इलीगल पोजेशन ऊपर करते देले दंड देले एक्यूज देले तार रे कोन एक्यूज नॉट अरेस्टेड फ्रॉम द सेंचुरी एरिया भीतर एक्यूज अरेस्टेड एक्यूज बाहर रास्ता पर अरेस्टेड nobody seen the accused steal the elephant. No seizure of weapon used for killing the elephant. Seizure हला कि को weapon से मारिछि को weapon ने काटिछि सडा को seizure कले. No evidence of administration of the poison to the elephant. ताको administration कोन हेछि poison ने मरछि कि कोन से एविडेंस रे कहउछनी हम गला से तार दस नाही तो 4 रे गोटे फाला मधे नाही ताम निश्चित कोटा हेछि से एविडेंस किसी कलेक्ट करा जाए तापर आउ से आउ बड़ जिनस अछि कोर्ट सेक्टर में गोटे पार्ट को छाडी दै छै से कले प्रेजेंस ऑफ एक्यूज एस्टैब्लिश्ड आफ्टर प्रूविंग केमिकल एग्जामिनेशन रिपोर्ट सेटा हमें हमर सेटा प्रोसिक्यूशन तरफ मोर एटा कहबार अछि प्रूव दैट PW7 कहउछ रिलीज से exhibit A1 B1 C1 FGH belong to male Asiatic element and exhibit B तार जो कोर्ट का सीजर हेला एक्यूज रो that your Baharji is the jacket of the accused contains trace of dust samples belongs to exhibit A, B, C and D. So the A, B, C, D जो sample गुड़ा जो अच्छी dust करो बात हकीलो गुड़ा नहीं थी लेकिन एक sample करती है और ये कोर्ट संगे मैच करूँ तो देखने के लिए तार प्रेजेंस से जाएगा अच्छी सेटा मुझे आप क्लिक करें ना कि बात सेटा मुझे ताप में मुझे एविडेंस कलेक्ट करने कोई ना लाखुना प्रोसिक्यूशन आईओ कौन तारीख रही PM report that सेक्टर एग्जाम नहीं थी PM report डॉक्टर साथी पर ना कि डॉक्टर का से एग्जाम के एटा प्रोसिक्यूशन मतलब सेटा भूल आप मतलब भूल अछि प्रोसिक्यूशन मतलब PM report को आनी की प्रूव करे से जो डॉक्टर पॉलिसी एग्जाम ताको आनी प्रमाण करेगा तो सेटा I have failed to seize the weapon of offense either the killing of the elephant or extracting the tusk जो वेपन ऑफ ऑफेंस मरा है बोली कहउछन बा से काटी के नीचे बोली कहउछन जेतो ताक धरिले ताको एग्जामिन करि थाते ताको पचारि कि ताको बाहर कर थाते एविडेंस जैसे कोन लगे कि काटी खाली तो जो सीजर हे गला अनऑथराइज्ड पोजेशन रे रहिला इलीगल माने कॉन्ट्राबैंड आर्टिकल जो टॉस का सेटा का टेस्ट तो सेतरे नहीं तो जदी हाथीटा मरि छी ताको लीक करा जाउछी ताले से पार्टटा मते डिवाइड था The accused was apprehended from the highway, which is not within the sanctuary. यदि से हाईवे रहला ताले सेते बेले सेते जो सीजर कले से खाली फॉरेस्ट ऑफिसर को नहीं करते सेते यदि हाईवे रहला ताले सेठी मध्ये रेस्पेक्ट हमर सेक्शन 100 ऑफ द रेस्पेक्टेबल पर्सन्स ऑफ द लोकालिटी ताको ताहा डाकी परिथा ताको डाकी कर ताको आगे सब सीजर इन्वॉल्व करे था से पार्टे नहीं केस अच्छी केवल आगे किसी ना ये बर्तमान मुझे मत कहला करे मतलब मागिली जजमेंटा देखी जजमेंट एति जिन बाकी जिन कवर करेंगे किंतु एतिक आसला कि केस ऑलरेडी अपील रे अछि डिसीजन कोर्ट रे बारिपदा अपील मत फाइल हो जाए तो से फाइल पीरियड में हमर सेक्रेटरी ऑफिसर्स अछंती ताको जे मत लागिबार अछि ता संगे मत हम कोर्ट मत फाइल करिवार अछि जहा लागिना अछि खोदी के बाहर हम जो करबो जो रीडिंग करबार अछि तब स्टेप्स टू टेकन फॉर सक्सेसफुल प्रोसिक्यूशन एंड ट्रायल वाइल्डलाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट प्रोसीजर में दिल्ली सेटा अछि कना रेखिन प्रिजम्पशन चैप्टर अछि सर ऑलरेडी कहि साइड प्रिजम्पशन सेक्शन 57 में रहला जे ने प्रिजम्पशन चैप्टर को अप्लाई करला पर आगे दरकार अछि प्रोसिक्यूशन हैज टू एस्टैब्लिश सोल केस एटा बेसिक प्रिंसिपल तो जो प्रोसिक्यूशन जो केस अछि जदि केस का हमें आगो एग्जाम कोर्ट रे न रखिबा ताले तार को बटन केमि जे हमें एक पर्टिकुलर एक केस रे देखली हाथीटा मल्ला केमि मल्ला कोन हला तार सब जिन सब न रखले से तार को बटन केमि जे एटा करे कोर्ट हम दंड दे दी ठीक अछि केमि देला कोन देला अपील ले कोन बा सेपरेट पूरा किंतु हमरे किछिटा लाकुना अछि जेटा करा जाय नाही किंतु हम भविष्य में केस रे एटा देखिबा पड़ो तापर डायरेक्ट एविडेंस जहाँ अच्छी तो डायरेक्ट हम आपत्ति कहबार अछि से केस रे गोटे अछि हमर जो पीआर दिया है चार्जशीट दिया है सेतरे सेतरे आदमी कहउछन जे माने जो एक्यूज ताका आगे एडमिशन करछि आयो आगे जे मु से जो टास्क करा नहीं छी से टॉस कोटा खेला जो हाथीरा से मरागला से हाथीर टॉस से एडमिशन कर किंतु एविडेंस कला पे सेही पार्टी सेठी मध्ये से कहूना आयोर एविडेंस रे सेटा नाही जे मो आगे एक्यूज आसे कहि दिला सेटा हेतिले हमर जति सीआरपीसी रो प्रोविजन अनुसार मध्ये इन्वेस्टिगेशन होची कंडीशन एविडेंस रे मध्ये ताको आनि थाते तार किछि माने करि थाते करि से लीडिंग डिस्कवरी रे नै कि से वेपन ऑफ ऑफेंस कोर्ट रे ऑफिस ताको बाहर कर के आनि थाते एखरे मध्ये टैग करथन ट्राई करथन तो से सब किछ किछि से सब किछ हबा कथा गेट where evidence collected during investigation will be adduced through its witnesses. तो डायरेक्ट एविडेंस जहाँ अच्छे सारा से विटनेस परफेक्टली परिवार अच्छे जे भी हमारा ऑफिशियल विटनेस से समझते ऑफिशियल विटनेस से जो माने अच्छे तो समझते ठीक कहले प्रोजेक्ट एविडेंस आसिला ताले कन्विक्शन इज मस्ट से तो तापरे ना ता छडा बाकी है आपको सर्कमस्टेंशियल एविडेंस कोन अच्छी दार कन्फेशनल स्टेटमेंट इफ एनी ऑफ द एक्यूज्ड और द एक्यूज्ड टू बी प्रूव जदि किछ कन्फेशनल स्टेटमेंट करछि एक्स्ट्राजुडिशियल कन्फेशन किछ अछि कागरे सेटा को प्रूव करबार अछि ता यही पर किसी करा जाए केते एविडेंस आयो एक्यूज पळेला जो लोग एक्यूज तीन जण पळेला बोली कहले किछि लोक देखि चली ताके तो पुनी आनि कहनो एई एक्यूज धरा आला त ताके हम चेक करिले से प्रोसेस ताले से प्रोसेस हेइतबा ताले से प्रोसेस को करबा अडॉप्ट करिया पड़े एविडेंस सेटा मते रखिया पड़े केमिकल एक्यूज रिपोर्ट केमिकल एग्जामिनेशन सब बळे रिपोर्ट प्रूफ करबा को अछि सर्कमस्टेंशियल एविडेंस प्रूफ करबा ingredients of offense defined in any other law other than the Wildlife Protection Act to be proved. Ingredients जोड़ा अच्छी IPC रो offense अच्छी कि साथी कहले हम अन्य offense सब अच्छी सेवडा को तो प्रूफ करबे तो जीए से ऑफिशियल विटनेस से आयो हेले इन्फॉर्मेंट हैला जे हैला से माने ए मटेरियल जोड़ा को परफेक्टली नै कि सेटी एविडेंस कोला पे दबा पड़े काना सेटा दीटा जिंस सब बेले समस्त को इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसीज रो जो जगह रे जाउची कहे तो गोटेला सब्सटेंशियल एविडेंस को सेटा आगे धरिबार अछि सब्सटेंशियल एविडेंस को एबी कहबी मैक्सिमम लोक जानि ना सब्सटेंशियल एविडेंस को जो मन ऑफिसर से सब कोर्ट साके दो हमें वंस कर दी कि कागज दे दी कोर्ट तक देखि कि कर दे सेटा नै एक्यू जो प्रोविजन के एबे पसी जे आप सारे रे कहजो मु भी ता स्लाइड रे पछ रखी छी जे हम पाखे जो पावर दिया गला हमें यदि एक्यूज रो स्टेटमेंट को रेकॉर्ड करबा एक्यूज रो प्रेजेंस रे रेकॉर्ड करबा त दैट विल बी एडमिसिबल इन कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ इन व्यू ऑफ प्रोविजंस ऑफ वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट परफेक्टली यदि करि रखाय तो ताला जदि हम एडमिशन कथा कहउछन से एडमिशन पर आसे कागज से कागज 2022 अमेंडमेंट पर हिच 23 मासे मोर पहिला कथा अछि 23 मासे रहिछि डिटेक्शन 23 मासे जजमेंट हे गेला तब से कागज से लाख पे The all seizures made from other than prohibited area needs to be seized in presence of the two respectable persons of the locality in terms of section 100. बहुत अल्प जिनस अछि अल्प जिनस कवर कर निश्चित हम सक्सेस होगा तापर सर वाइटल एस्पेक्ट टू कंसीडर व्हाइल इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एन ऑफेंस अंडर द एक्ट वाइटल एस्पेक्ट तो सर ऑलरेडी कहि दै छै सुडा सेक्शन 50 सर it लाइन पर बड़े सर सेक्शन 50 का कहि साइड छै तो दूसरे सेक्शन 50 का जो 8 है तो सेक्शन 50 का 7 है whenever any person is approached by any of the officers referred to in subsection 1 for assistance of the prevention and detection of the offence against this act or in apprehending persons charged with the violation of this act or for seizure in accordance with clause C of subsection 1 itself the duty of such person or persons to render such assistance. ये जो provision है ताकि प्लस clause 7 में रहला एथरे अपन जो कहउछथि पुलिस कोटे केस सारे जो पुलिस कोटे केस करतो छी ये कोटे केस एटा हमर प्रश्न देबे जे वन में जाने संगे संगे इम्प्लीमेंट कला पर से ऑटोमेटिकली क्लब हो बस से हैंडओवर करि देबो 8 9 7 कहि कि बाकी सब जोगडा के हम सार कहि छु ता प्रश्न सेक्शन 52 सार कहि अमेंडमेंट कथा कहि सेक्शन 53 मध्ये सार रॉन्गफुल सीजर एटा आगु दिन सकेला रॉन्गफुल सीजर ऊपर देछि यदि रॉन्गफुल सीजर के कला ताला अथॉरिटी जे सीज कला से भी लाइबल हो ये सब तो सर एनडीपीएस रे देखि छै तरह से प्रोजेक्ट हो 56 रे देला ऑपरेशन ऑफ अदर लॉस नॉट बाय सार ऑलरेडी पैसा 57 रे रिजम्पशन कथा कहि छै 58 कथा सार कहि ଏତିକି ଜିନିଷ ଏବେ ତ ରହିଲା ଇନଭେଷ୍ଟିଗେସନ୍ ପାଇଁ ଯାହା ହେଇଛି କିନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣମାନେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ସାକ୍ଷୀ ଦେବେ ଯେଉଁ ଅଫିସର ସାକ୍ଷୀ ଦେବା ଦଉଛନ୍ତି କୋର୍ଟରେ ସାକ୍ଷୀ ଦେବେ।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जमेश्वर मिश्र ब्रदर। तो वर्तमान आम भैलिलेक्टरी सेसन आरंभ करवा आम स्पीकर्स मान स्टेज को आमंत्रित करुच्ची। डॉक्टर के पट्टनायक एडवाइजर सेफ वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन ट्रस्ट, डॉक्टर A.K. नायक एडवाइजर सेफ वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन ट्रस्ट, श्री S.K. नंदा IFS विशिष्ट सर, तो श्री B.K. शर्मा फॉर्मर डीजी पुलिस, आज्ञा डॉक्टर देवव्रत स्वाई भाई। तो समस्त को रिक्वेस्ट है आम भैलिलेक्टरी सेसन आम परिचालना करवा। जितेश्वर सर दुई शब्द आम श्री जी आनंद कुमार सर आज रखिए। वेलकम।
डॉक्टर स्वाइन सर को धन्यवाद देवी से मत रिटायरमेंट पर 3 वर्ष है एक्टिव रोल से फाउंडेशन। सेकेंडली मु शर्मा सर को बहुत धन्यवाद देवी से हेड ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट हला परे वाइल्ड लाइफ क्राइम कंट्रोल ब्यूरो प्रथम ट्रेनिंग पुलिस एंड फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट करते से मोर ट्रेनिंग थी मो लकी आउ से मटेरियल मो सार कहना चाहूँगी मुझे 3 वर्ष भितर से जो मटेरियल मुझे ट्रेनिंग रे पाई बर्तमान सुधा मुझे 10टा एक्टिव क्लास नहीं वाइल्ड लाइफ क्राइम कंट्रोल बाबद में वाइल्ड लाइफ डिविजन में मोर रिक्वेस्ट आदि जमी से वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन ट्रस्ट तरफ सार को डकाई सेमती आम फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट बहुत किसी सेमिनार हो आ शर्मा सार को डाकिले एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करेंगे। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू सर। तो वर्तमान आम डॉक्टर B.K. पट्टनायक सर सुनवा। फेलिसिटेशन करेंगे हमरा S.K. नंदा सर, B.K. शर्मा सर। पुष्पगुच्छ उत्तरीय सम्मानित करवा। तो आप जोरदार बात
पूर्वतन डीजी वाइल्ड लाइफ क्राइम पर एक्सपर्ट B.K. शर्मा महोदय, डॉक्टर देवव्रत स्वाई महोदय, डॉक्टर अनूप नायक, जितेश्वर महाती एवं आमर डायरेक्टर जॉइंट डायरेक्टर प्रसिद्धूषण महोदय। यहाँ आम बर्तमान उत्तीर्ण सन्धार पहुँचले समस्त जावाई व्यग्र तेणु किसी कह चाहूना कहले जहाँ आप सेसन से विषय टे विपद कहली। आमर गोटे कविता अच्छी विश्व जीवन है कि दे बुझी तुमको प्रभुए सबू तुम प्रसाद जहाँ प्रसाद ताहू आटले हेबनी का अपराध। तेणु सब कथा मुझे शुणिकी जो मैंने कहते शुणिकी जहाँ किसी ज्ञान आहरण कर पुणी थे बखाणी आ से प्रसाद सांको अर्पण कले एटा गोटे अपराध भली हम तेणु मोर एति कहया कथा जे जो आम थे फाउंडर फाउंडेशन रे स्पीकर थे डॉक्टर विभास पांडा से पैन इंडिया जो रेस्पेक्ट रे डिटेल कहले केमती एलिफेंट को एरिया अच्छे को जोन में अच्छा कौन अपराध एलिफेंट ह्यूमन इंटरेस्ट केमती होमती रखा जापर आमर जो थे बहुत जो सेसन में थे जो बंधु मैंने थे सम्यक थे नीतीश कुमार थे इंद्रवाणी नाथ साहब थे थे से समस्ते निज निजर जो फील्ड एक्सपीरियंस को कहते आमर तो फील्ड एक्सपीरियंस मत ना एत ना तो अनेक जिनस आम शिखिक जाणी से शुणिक जहाँ आम शिखेलु से गुड़ाक आम हूँ जो एलिफेंट फाउंडेशन कार्यक्रम हाथ को नौचु ताकू प्रयोग करने चेष्टा करूँ आशा करुचु जे गोटे जो निर्यास बाहर मुझे जहाँ अनेक शुणिली जो वाइल्ड लाइफ मैनेजमेंट एलिफेंट मैनेजमेंट मध्य बेसी हूँ प्रथम हूँ क्राउड मैनेजमेंट द्वितीय हूँ जो कंपासनेट पेमेंट जोटा हूँ क्विकली केमती हम कारण से क्राउड मैनेजमेंट जब आम ठीक न करवा निश्चित भाव में एलिफेंट मर ना लोक मृत्युहार कंपासनेट पेमेंट जब शीघ्र करवा लोक मैंने जो राग रोचे रिएक्शन रोचे वन विभाग प्रति जो आक्रोश रोचे से प्रशमित हम तो यही जोड़ाक जिनस को आम कर अधिकांश आम लक्ष्य स्थान में पहुँच पार हूँ तो जीरो काजुआलिटी नहीं पारे कि काजुआलिटी उभय मनुष्य स्तर में और एलिफेंट स्तर में बहुत कमिज विशेष कह चाहूना मैंने आसित कहे धन्यवाद जय
बहुत धन्यवाद डॉक्टर बी के पट्टनायक सर बर्तमान रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे डॉक्टर ए के नायक एडवाइजर सेल्फ एलिफेंट फाउंडेशन ट्रस्ट प्लीज अपन वक्तव्य
Honored guests on the dais and friends of the dais, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this final session, valedictory session. Honored guest, हमारा अछंती डॉक्टर पी.के. शर्मा, बहुत सुंदर प्रेजेंटेशन देले, कंग्रेचुलेशन सर। और हमारा कितने समय है खेल तीन जिनस कह प्रथम जिनस हूँ सेफ्ट मो जो सेसनटा मो सेसन सेकेंड सेसन जमी आरंभ कले ललित पात्र डूज एंड डोन्स से प्रिंसिपल रे आमर सेफ्ट जिते अल्प किसी कर्मचारी अच्छा मैंने अच्छु प्रथम प्रिंसिपल हूँ आम जो जगह कन्फ्लिक्ट रिडन विलेजेस जो जहाँ प्रोब्लेम अच्छी सब गाँव तो जाइए केत गुड़े गाँव को जाकि आगे से आम डूज एंड डोन विषय आमर गोटाए मेसेज से जोटा कि सिस्टर लीना कही जोटा कि डॉक्टर देवव्रत स्वयं कही से जिन को मुझे दोहराइली जे इरिटेट करना एलिफेंट को इरिटेट करना इट्स एन इंटेलिजेंट एनिमल सोशल एनिमल सेंसिटिव एनिमल एम्पैथेटिक एनिमल से सब जानीपार एडे बड़ ब्रेन मुंड एडे बड़ ब्रेन एडे बड़ आम मुंड एडिकी आम कहे आम सब चला किंतु स्नाया मुंड एडे बड़ तेणु से केते चला कही न से जानीज आपंकर जेस्चर आपण बिहेवियर जे आप ऑफेंसिव स्टांस नौकरी ना फ्रेंडली स्टांस तेणु इफ यू ट्रीट द एनिमल विथ रेस्पेक्ट विथ सेंसिबिलिटी से तुम फ्रेंड रही तेणु प्रथम जिनस हूँ इरिटेट करवा ना जिते क्षति कर सरकार प्रिंसिपल अनुकंपा आ फल इमिडिएटली पैसा मिल तेणु आम इरिटेट करवा कहीं मुक्ताहत होगा कहीं घर द्वार नष्ट करवा कहीं रादर दूध सेकेंड जिनस आम कहूँ जिते नाई आपने इरिटेट करते ना द्वितीय जिनस हूँ जदि क्षति करदेला इमिडिएटली पेमेंट मिलिया कंपेनसेशन कहतु कंपासनेट ग्राउंड कहतु इमिडिएट पेमेंट पाई तो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट आम अनुकंपा विषय कहले आम प्रदीप नरासी से सुंदर कहले सेटा कि लोक पाखे पहुँचवार अच्छी जो मैंने अफेक्टेड होती गाँ लोक मैंने आम सब स्टाफ मैंने मतलब विषय बेस जानी ना तेणु यहाँ व्यापक हवा दरकार समस्त जनवा दरकार जो जिनस आम ही कर
आम कर सरकार कर सरकार का हाथ हैंड होल्डिंग कर चेष्टा कर तृतीय जदि किसी नहेला अनुकंपा से बेले बेले लोक किसी कथा मानते ना इरिटेट करते इरिटेट कले से वृद्धाहत कर केस रे गोटे लोन टस्कर जोटा कि प्रोब्लेमेटिक एनिमल जदि हो गला बहुत लोग मारिला बाध्य ट्रांक्लाइज कर ट्रांसलोकेशन कर ठीक तीन टिका जिनस सेशन में डिस्कसन होता है प्रांजल भाव में समस्त बुझे आपने टॉलरेट सब शुणी धन्यवाद धन्यवाद दूसरी आम फाउंडेशन सुंदर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन थैंक यू
थैंक यू सर अच्छा रिक्वेस्ट कर जिला सत्र सर आसतु रिक्वेस्ट कर श्री DK शर्मा सर फॉर्मर DG पुलिस
मुंचासीन अतिथिवृंद आज ये प्रकार गोटे डे लॉन्ग वर्कशॉप ऑर्गेनाइज कर सेव एलिफेंट फाउंडेशन कर्मकर्ता को आंतरिक धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करुँच मत सुजोग मिलू धन्यवाद ज्ञापन कर प्रकार वर्कशॉप अधिक जमी हम से समस्ते लाभान्वित हो पारे आशा करुँच फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट प्रोएक्टिव एक्शन नहीं जदि अधिक स्किल अपग्रेडेशन प्रचेषा करते आमर केवल हाथी नुहति अन्य समस्त वन्यजंतु सुरक्षा खूब भल हो पारे मुझे विश्वास करें धन्यवाद
धन्यवाद सर तो वर्तमान प्रोग्राम परिशेष मुझे रिक्वेस्ट करी समस्त भोटर थैंक्स दवाई आम रेस्पेक्टेड ब्रदर डॉक्टर देवव्रत स्वयं फाउंडर सेफ एलिफेंट फाउंडेशन ट्रस्ट ऑनरेबल मेंबर लोकायुक्त ओडिशा प्लीज
समस्त को पुणी थे नमस्कार आपण मैंने सत्य प्राय 9:30 बजे बस बहुत बहुत खुशी आम गहण में बर्तमान सेसन आमर पूर्वतन DG पुलिस श्रीजुक्त शर्मा अच्छा से आपण मानू सुंदर भाव फॉरेस्ट लॉ विषय कहले आम सहित जमेश्वर बाबू भी अच्छा पब्लिक प्रोसिक्यूशन को से सुंदर भाव आपण मानू जनइले कि भाव आमर लॉर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन आम केमी करुचु कौन सब लेखुना रही जानवा दरकार आम गहण आमर PK पट्टनायक सार एवं डॉक्टर अनूप नायक से विषय कहले जो विषय कि हाथी मानकर सुरक्षा किभली हो जित जे कि ये जो संपूर्ण प्रोग्राम को जे कोऑर्डिनेट करिसंती तेणु आज भेलिडिटी सेशन में जो मैंने अच्छा समस्त को धन्यवाद देवा सहित आपण मैंने समस्ते आज सकाल को आसी एत पर्यंत बसी एवं आमर जो DFO माने एवं जो स्पीकर माने आज भाग ने से मो अंतर धन्यवाद दूसरी आपण मैंने जानी था जे हाथीर सुरक्षा जहाँ प्रथम में कही जे आपण मैंने जो एलिफेंट ड्राइव स्क्वाड करुँच पुणी थे रिपीट करी एथर चेंज करके ह्यूमन ड्राइव स्क्वाड कर दिंतु हाथी को जिते जनबसती दूर रखापी लोक आग हाथी को दूर रखा पड़े मिनिमम 200 मीटर हाथी ठार दूर रखु कोलाहल बंद करूँ से स्क्वाड को एम्प्लॉय करूँ हाथी को खेदा नुह हाथी को खेदिले हाथी घर द्वार भांग आ सहित एवं सरकार तो कहले कौन चाला घर रही समस्त चाला घर आपणकर पक्का घर ତେଣୁ ଯଦି ସମସ୍ତ ଚାଳ ଘର ପକ୍କା ଘର ହେବ ତାହେଲେ ହାତୀ ମଧ୍ୟ ଘର ଭାଙ୍ଗି ପାରିବ ନାହିଁ। ତେଣୁ ତା ମଧ୍ୟ ଆପଣମାନେ ଫରେଷ୍ଟ ଡିପାର୍ଟମେଣ୍ଟରେ ବିଶେଷ କରିକି ଯେଉଁମାନେ ଫରେଷ୍ଟ ଫ୍ରିଜ୍ ଏରିଆରେ ରହିଛନ୍ତି ଚାଳ ଘରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ଇନ୍ଦିରା ଆବାସରେ ଟଙ୍କା ପାଇଛନ୍ତି କିନ୍ତୁ ଇନ୍ଦିରା ଆବାସ ଟଙ୍କା ପାଇକି ପକ୍କା ଘର କରିନାହାନ୍ତି। କାହିଁକିନା ଆମ ପାଖକୁ ଯେହେତୁ ମୁଁ ଲୋକାୟୁକ୍ତରେ ଅଛି ତେଣୁକରି ସେ ବହୁତ କେସ୍ ଏଭଳି ଆସୁଛି। ତେଣୁ ଆପଣମାନେ ସେଠି ଇଣ୍ଟରଭିନ୍ କରନ୍ତୁ, ସେମାନେ କେମିତି ପକ୍କା ଘର କରିବେ ସେ ତାର ମଧ୍ୟ ବିଡ଼ିଓମାନଙ୍କ ସହିତ କୋଅର୍ଡ଼ିନେଟ୍ କରିକି ତାହା କରନ୍ତୁ ଏବଂ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ କୁହନ୍ତୁ ଯେ ହାତୀ ପାଖକୁ ଯିବେ ନାହିଁ ଏବଂ ସେମାନେ କିଭଳି ଶୀଘ୍ର କମ୍ପାସେସନ୍ ପାଇଯିବେ ତାହା ମଧ୍ୟ ଦେଖିବେ। ଆଉ ଆଜି ଯେଉଁ ଆମେ ୱାର୍କସପ୍ କଲୁ ଏ ୱାର୍କସପ୍ରେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟିଏ କଥା ବାହାରିଲା ଯେ ଆମେ ସାର୍କେଲ୍ ଲେଭେଲରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ୱାର୍କସପ୍ କରିବୁ। ଏଠି ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍ ଲେଭେଲରେ ୱାର୍କସପ୍ କରିବା ସହିତ ସାର୍କେଲ୍ ଲେଭେଲରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ୱାର୍କସପ୍ କରିବୁ ଯେଉଁଠାରେ କି ଏଠି ତ ଯେଉଁମାନେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ମୋଷ୍ଟଲି ଟ୍ରେନିଂ ଏବଂ OUATରୁ ଆସିଥିଲେ କିଟ୍ରୁ ଆସିଥିଲେ ଏମାନେ ଆସିଥିଲେ କିନ୍ତୁ ଆମର ଯେଉଁ ରେଞ୍ଜ ଅଫିସର ଫରେଷ୍ଟର ଫରେଷ୍ଟ ଗାର୍ଡ ଯେମିତି ଆକ୍ଟିଭଲି ପାର୍ଟିସିପେଟ୍ କରିବେ କାରଣ ସେଇମାନେ ହେଉଛନ୍ତି ଆମର ଟାର୍ଗେଟ୍ ଗ୍ରୁପ୍। ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ଆମେ ଜଣାଇବା ପାଇଁ VSS ମେମ୍ବର ଏମାନଙ୍କୁ ଜଣାଇବା ପାଇଁ ଆମେ ହୁଏତ ୱାର୍କସପ୍ କେମିତି ସାର୍କେଲ୍ ଲେଭେଲରେ ହେବ। ତେଣୁ ସାର୍କେଲ୍ର RCCF ମାନଙ୍କ ସହିତ ବସି ଏବଂ PCF ସହିତ ବସି ଆମର ସେଭ୍ ଏଲିଫେଣ୍ଟ ଫାଉଣ୍ଡେସନ୍ ଟ୍ରଷ୍ଟ ଏ ବିଷୟରେ ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ଭାବରେ ଯତ୍ନ କରିବ। ତେଣୁକରି ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କୁ ପୁଣି ଥରେ ମୋର ହୃଦୟରୁ କୃତଜ୍ଞତା ଜ୍ଞାପନ କରୁଛି। ସବୁଠାରୁ ବେଶୀ କୃତଜ୍ଞତା ଦେଉଛି ସେଭ୍ ଏଲିଫେଣ୍ଟ ଫାଉଣ୍ଡେସନ୍ ଟ୍ରଷ୍ଟର ଚେୟାରମ୍ୟାନ୍ ଯିଏକି ସେଠି ବସିଛନ୍ତି ଏବଂ ତାଙ୍କର କ'ଣ କୁହାଯିବ ପ୍ରୋତ୍ସାହନ ବଳରେ ଏ ଟ୍ରଷ୍ଟ ଆଗେଇ ଚାଲିଛି ଏବଂ ତା ସହିତ ମୁଁ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଦେବି ଆମର ଏ ସେଭ୍ ଏଲିଫେଣ୍ଟ ଫାଉଣ୍ଡେସନ୍ ଟ୍ରଷ୍ଟର ଯେଉଁ ସବୁ ଭଲଣ୍ଟିୟର ଅଛନ୍ତି ଆମର ଅଶ୍ୱିନୀ ବାବୁ ବସିଛନ୍ତି ଆମର କୁନା ବାବୁ ବସିଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ଏତେ ସକାଳେ ଏତେ ସୁନ୍ଦର ଭାବରେ ଆପଣ ଆମର ଆକ୍ଟିଭିଟିର ଗୋଟିଏ ଭିଡ଼ିଓ ତିଆରି କରିକି ଆମର ଆକ୍ଟିଭିଟିର ସେ ଦେଖେଇଲେ ଏତେ ସୁନ୍ଦର ଭାବରେ କରିଛନ୍ତି। ତାଙ୍କୁ ଯେତେ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଦେଲେ କମ୍ ହେବ ଏବଂ ମୁଁ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଦେବି ପ୍ରଜାପିତା ବ୍ରହ୍ମା କୁମାରୀ ଈଶ୍ୱରୀୟ ବିଶ୍ୱବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟର ଭଉଣୀମାନଙ୍କୁ ସେମାନେ ଏଠି ଆସି ସହଯୋଗ କରିଛନ୍ତି। ସହଯୋଗ କରିବା ଯୋଗୁଁ ଇଏ ଆମର ଏ ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମଟି ଏତେ ସୁନ୍ଦର ଭାବରେ ହେଇପାରିଲା। କୌଣସିରେ ଆଧ୍ୟାତ୍ମିକ ଟଚ୍ ନ ରହିଲେ ତାହା ସମ୍ଭବପର ନୁହଁ। ତେଣୁ ସେ ଯେଉଁ ଟଚ୍ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ଆଧ୍ୟାତ୍ମିକ ଟଚ୍ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ତେଣୁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଦେବି। ଏ ଯେଉଁ ଆମର ଜୟଦେବ ଭବନର ଯେଉଁ କର୍ମକର୍ତ୍ତା ରହିଛନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ଏତେ ସମୟ ଧରିକି ଆମକୁ ସହିଛନ୍ତି ଏତେ ସମୟ ଧରିକି ରହିଛନ୍ତି ତେଣୁକରି ତାଙ୍କୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଦେବି। ସର୍ବୋପରି ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଦେବି ସେହି ପରମପିତା ପରମାତ୍ମା ଶିବଙ୍କୁ ଯିଏକି ଆମକୁ ବାଟ ଦେଖାଉଛନ୍ତି। କାହିଁକି ନା ବିନା ସ୍ପିରିଚୁଆଲିଜିମରେ ବିନା ଆଧ୍ୟାତ୍ମିକତାରେ ଆମେ ଆଗେଇ ପାରିବୁ। ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ, ନମସ୍କାର।
ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଦେଇଥିବା ଭାଇଙ୍କୁ ଦେବାକର ଭାଇଙ୍କୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ବହୁତ ବହୁତ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଲାଷ୍ଟରେ ଗୋଟେ ଜୋରଦାର କର୍ତ୍ତବ୍ୟ ପାଇଁ। ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ପରିଶେଷରେ ଆମେ ସେହି ପରମପିତା ପରମାତ୍ମାଙ୍କୁ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଦେବା। 2 ମିନିଟ୍ ଗୋଟେ ସୁନ୍ଦର ଗୀତ ବାଜିବ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦର ଆଉ ଆମେ ମନରେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଅର୍ପଣ କରିବା। 2 ମିନିଟ୍ ସାଇଲେନ୍ସରେ ସମସ୍ତେ ପରମାତ୍ମାଙ୍କ ଚିନ୍ତାରେ ବସିବା।
आज
Yeah.